What am I doing here all alone? I got things that I gotta do. Waiting for my friends to come along. I don't mean to sound so long.
What up, everybody? Welcome to the Salty and Savage Show. I'm Salty.
And I'm Savage. What the fuck is up?
What is up? What is going on? How was your week, dude?
Dude, week was pretty good. Interesting week. It's been super duper hot here in the Midwest. And then we had a crazy torrential downpour storm with lightning and thunder last night, and woke up this morning and everything was dry and it was hot again.
Dude, yeah. It was the weather's been nice here, better than California. Anyway, welcome to the show. Like we said, I'm Salty, he's Savage. This is pop culture, news, arts, entertainment, video games. We talk about it all, usually a day late and a dollar short. But the difference is, instead of lots of YouTube just whining and complaining about my culture war, you actually are getting a perspective from people who worked in the industry and now live in the Midwest and are like, we're kind of over it. Anyway, so that's what we do here. It's fun. It's a good time.
Yep.
I'm a 25-year vet of entertainment advertising. And what did you do?
I worked for a television show and relentlessly made television every single day of my life for like 17 years.
Was that show called Extra?
It was, yeah, my mother called it my extra job. And got a couple of these bad boys right back here to show for it. So that's pretty awesome. But we've moved on, and now one of my best buds from an undisclosed bar location in the San Fernando Valley, we've taken our bar discussions on the road or on the web.
Yes. And that is the concept of the show. If you're new to watching, is that me and Savage met at a bar in an undisclosed location in Los Angeles late at night after work, commiserating and drowning our sorrows of working in the entertainment industry and the stresses of it in alcohol, preferably the darker kind, or the harder kind. Wait, what? And just, hanging out, having a good time, talking about music and what was going on in the world. And now that's our podcast. So welcome. We have a lot of new people. Wait. Oh, yeah.
Immortal Rising. What up? All right.
What up, dude? I think I've heard about you.
I can see Illinois from my house.
Is Immortal Rising the guy that went toe-to-toe with that one guy that has that one comic book that's kind of a douchebag to everybody? Let us know in the chat.
I don't know.
Ganj Guy is here, and he says, I kiss boys, and we still love you, because all are welcome to watch the show.
All right. We also, tonight, we have a bunch of awesome topics. We got a top 5. We've got a record of the week, but we also have a guest. A special guest.
We do have a special guest. And also our guest in the chat just confirmed that Immortal Rising Comics is that guy. And I just want to say, hats off to you, sir. I love your I don't know. I love your candor, my friend. And I loved how you handled that whole situation. Welcome to the show, Jason Sandberg.
Look at this
Welcome
candor.
to the show.
Fellas, I did not kayfabe that. Immortal Rising, he just showed up. I did not arrange this. His real name is Aaron. He has his second volume of Immortal Rising is currently live on Indiegogo. It is a fantastic mashup of role playing games and a bit of manga. The artist he works with, imagine like Dan Mora, if Dan Mora tilted more towards manga.
Oh,
But yeah, I highly recommend Immortal Rising. But yeah, Aaron, he actually is on that Friday show that I'm on. He's a probationary temporary third guest or third panelist co-host on the show. So that Friday show I do.
He's the third credited exec produce on the film of Anchorman.
Exactly. And it is a true story. He can come on sometime and tell you the whole story. But the Mr. Calendar, Mr. Highfalutin Calendar Man, basically wrote him a check for $1,000 and said, "Here, I'm going to give you some pointers." And Aaron said, "I'm refunding your money. I'm going to do what I want to do because I'm indie." And that's the whole point of being indie.
Oh, no, you're not even telling the whole story. So who it was
I vaguely remember
the resident loudmouth, now comic book creator, Eric July. And you know, he was getting a lot of criticism. I think Immortal Rising had some criticism or whatever. And then the dude was all like, "Oh, you're so small. Your little comic book is so small. I just basically funded it with my money, even though it had already been funded on I think Fund My Comic or or Indiegogo.
Yeah.
I can't remember." And the dude was like, "Hey, hey, asshole! I don't need your money. Take it back." And then went like this. It was awesome. It was awesome. So welcome to the show, Immortal Rising. We should have you on as a guest. That would be fun.
Good guy.
Yeah.
Good guy.
And we will put we will definitely put your link in the chat too. There it is. The Baron put the link in the chat. If you guys want to check out his comic book, it is there in the chat because that's what we do on this show is we do two things that we do.
I'm out here.
Whiskey. We drink whiskey and we talk a lot of crap. What were you saying, Jason? Sorry.
I'm out here making the rounds, knocking on doors, trying to meet new people, and lo and behold, Aaron's gonna get more backers tonight than me. But it's just the fickle finger of fate. It might just happen.
Well, yeah, you are hawking your book tonight, and we'll talk about it a little bit later because we're gonna play the trailer and we're gonna ask you some questions on it. I've got it. You guys should get it. The link is actually pinned to the chat. Anyway, let's get into the show, dude. What's going on in the news, Savage?
Dude, what is going on in the news? All right, so we have obviously been on the forefront of the Acolyte discussion. We went through the entire series we watched and discussed every night, and discussed the things that we wish had happened and wish didn't happen, and et cetera, et cetera. And then, of course,
et cetera.
And then, of course, it all comes to fruition last week when we discovered that, after all of that hullabaloo that they went through to make this like perfect series or whatever, whoever Leslie Squarehead's little baby. So then they're like, nope, we're just not going to do it anymore. We've just gotten so much backlash and stuff. It's like, just write it, just do something better. Like, what do you like? You could write the same show just better. Like, you did a terrible job. So all of this, we've been following this for quite some time, and then we hear this awesome piece of news. And let me bring it up here. We hear this incredible piece of news where's it at? That apparently one Mr. Keanu Reeves has basically an open door at Lucasfilm after almost playing Master Soul in the Acolyte. So there's two things to unpack here. It's like, first, he almost played Master Soul, which is that's a huge deal, and we'll get into that. And secondly, now that he didn't, he has carte blanche at Lucasfilm, which, I mean, I know it sets my heart racing. I know Salty's shaking up that salt shaker thinking about that. Like, what's the possibilities? You know, a little space samurai.
This is he has an open door. But what was the other news about? He actually. He was supposed to be Soul in the Acolyte?
He was supposed to. So we've learned a few things in the aftermath of the cancellation of the Acolyte. One of the big ones, that Keanu Reeves was one of the candidates to play Master Soul, and it didn't work out schedule-wise, but he may come back for a different project.
You know what that's called? You know what that's called? It's called dodging a bullet.
I find the whole Master Soul character to be problematic. Just because he's played by a Korean gentleman, he's named Mr. Soul. If it had been an African actor, would have been Timbuktu, Master Timbuktu. No, no one's paying any attention to that. So I think it's very problematic.
I don't know if that's I think a little. Well, you got soul, which is spelt like actual. What SOEL? I can't spell.
SOL. Well, SOL is the son.
Soul
it represents, like it also represents like the father and whatnot. There's a number of literary and metaphorical references that you could probably do to that. But
that one didn't bother me.
I never made that connection. That's interesting.
It didn't bother me. I made the connection. I was like, oh, he's Korean and he's from it's his name's Seoul Korea. But like, what was so bothersome was the script. What the story was so bad, and then the character was written. His character, which seemed like the only interesting part of the entire series, then just ended up being like the worst character. Like it just made no sense. There was no development. There was no arc. There was just
terrible decisions being made by intelligent individuals, and it's so unfortunate that Star Wars is constantly using that as the crux. It's like, oh, even these super smart, like really great people make terrible decisions once, and then it's like, no, they're not just like oh, like I messed up, like I made a slightly wrong. Like they're terrible decisions that this character under no circumstance should be making. And to think that Keanu Reeves dodged that bullet is pretty great.
And the Jedi, the Jedi are supposed to be like that universe's equivalent of a sober, stoic master warrior, and yet they make these illogical decisions.
Yeah, and the younger ones always do something like, oh, they're so hot-headed or so quick to act, and so it's like, then maybe they shouldn't be fucking Jedi. Isn't that the point? Then maybe they shouldn't be this far. Maybe you shouldn't be letting them just scale the wall to some community that you don't even know of yet. You haven't even communicated with these people, and you're not going to go back and get help or anything. No, let's just go ahead and storm in and see what this is all about.
Let's just do it and just murder witches.
Well,
there was an update though. The one thing that we did get from Acolyte was, remember that cliffhanger ending where Squarehead's wife, Leslie Squarehead's wife or girlfriend or whatever, the basically Shrek Jedi Shrek.
Yeah.
She was going to meet Yoda. So we have an update to that scene. Do you guys want to watch it?
Oh, let's see.
So we can get some closure, guys. We can get some closure.
Oh, okay.
Sorry to disturb you, Master. We need to talk.
No talk needed. Listen, you will.
Listen?
Yes. Fired you are.
What?
Cancelled. Kicked out. Dismissed. Let go.
So there you go. I mean, that's basically why it happened. They gave us an update. I think that I don't think it could have ended better, actually. I don't think it could have ended better. What do you think, Jason?
I do not currently have a subscription to Disney Plus. However, everything that I've seen over the shoulder, everything that I've seen is in through the peephole has told me that I'm glad I don't have a Disney Plus subscription.
Yeah.
So nonetheless, we appreciate you for being honest and for not supporting someone like
for not supporting terrible art that no one should ever watch.
I mean, so all of this information. Let's also discuss how the main Master Soul's master was played by Keanu Reeves. Love and sidekick from The Matrix. So it would have been, I think it would have been way too close to the vest. It would have been way too tongue-in-cheek. I don't know. What up, Scrapjaw Studio? I don't know if it would have worked out without so much, like even more discussion.
had they both been in it, they could have had this little Easter egg where they look at each other and like the Matrix is clearly glitching. Like
Yeah.
that would have maybe made it redeemable. So apparently she's not as good at dodging bullets, but I will say that I think she intentionally did not go out on the publicity trail. I think she just took the money and said, "Hey, I'm going to take the money. I'm going to get some notoriety, but I'm not going to tie my reputation to this thing because I don't think I saw her doing interviews or anything like that."
Yeah, I mean, I think that they were partially keeping her. They were trying to keep her character mysterious. They were, and I mean, honestly, if you would have seen these two on screen together, you would have been like, "Come on." I mean, come on. You would never have been able to look past it. You would have been tried. You'd been like, I'm so stoked Keanu's in this.
I think it could have been cool if you wrote a better story.
They would have had to do so much better than even the last Matrix movie. Like they would have had to have done a much better job.
Wait, so much better than the very last Matrix movie? I don't know.
The very
if that
last
bar is very
Matrix
high.
movie.
I don't
Exactly.
know if that bar
exactly.
Is very high.
They would have had to. It's like they would have had to have done a better Matrix reference than the last Matrix movie did.
No, guys, I don't know what you're talking about. There was only one Matrix movie. I don't know what's this last. I don't know.
Well, there's the Animatrix, and then there's the Matrix, and both works of art are very enjoyable, and everything else is basically like somebody wiped their ass back to front.
Oh dear.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was that too much?
No, that's fine. That's fine. But it's a matter
you know who's upset though? There's a lot of people that are upset that the Acolyte got canceled. You know who's upset? These ladies. They're really upset.
Writing's bad. No, you hate it because there's a lesbian.
No, it's
feels like more people that perhaps think that and have not been emboldened to say so previously are all of a sudden coming out of the woodwork going, "Look at me, I hate gay people."
Writing's bad. No, you hate it because there's
No, actually, the writing's bad.
The writing is
terrible. It's the story was unwatchable. It was an ugly story. It wasn't even like a story you could you're kind of rooting for it's like, oh, we're going to do a story about a terrible person. And then he's a serial killer. And it's interesting because he hunts down other serial killers. So that's kind of cool, right? So you're rooting for him, but he's bad. So, and then there's, I don't know. But no, it's just everyone's an asshole in this film or in this show. Everyone's an asshole. Watch it. And if you don't watch it, you're a bigot. If you don't look, these angry, ugly, wannabe geek girls will call you names if you don't watch it.
Oh no, please no.
In my opinion, when Disney got Star Wars, what they should have done is they should have told good stories that occur in that universe, and they could have told stories that were equivalent of like a Western where there's two competing colonies or two settlements that are at odds with each other, and things get dire, and then suddenly at the end a Jedi shows up, and you're like, oh my God, the Jedi's here. Or they could have done somebody's lost in the wilderness, and it's like this child is lost in the wilderness. It's a dangerous planet. The ship crashed. We need someone to rescue them. Who can go in there and rescue? A Jedi shows up. If they had,
what else would have been better? You know what else would have been better? If they had Ewoks and they just ripped off this cartoon.
Gummy bears bouncing here and there and everywhere. High adventure that's beyond compare. They are the gummy bears.
Still a better story than what the hell they were doing. Still a better story. Ewoks. No one likes the Ewoks, but you do that. You rip off the gummy bears. You do a series of them running around. Still a better show than Acolyte.
I mean, I'm definitely interested.
They made the Jedis too prominent, and because of the current day neurosis, they had to pick apart, deconstruct, dehero that which draws their attention, therefore needs to be deheroized. So it was meant to be a disaster. It was fated to be a disaster. And I think they just need to stop with Disney, Marvel, stop with Disney, Star Wars. let it lie fallow for 5 years, and then bring in people that actually can write. It's the only
Yeah,
cure.
or they can just take old westerns and old samurai Akira Kurosawa films and straight up copy those
Just
for
remake
a
them
while.
as
Because
Star
they're
Wars
like, and
movies.
just like scene for scene, but everyone's got a lightsaber or a blaster, which would still be better than whatever the hell they're doing right now, man. Like Magnificent
I'd watch
Seven
that. I'd watch that.
with blasters. I mean, they already did it in Mandalorian, but like you have your own movie. Oh, there you go. You know, like any John Wayne film, blasters
True
in their
Grit.
hands.
The good, the bad,
In
and
fact,
the ugly, of course.
The good, the bad, and
Yeah.
the ugly. Yeah.
With AI now, they should actually take a John Ford film, run it through AI, and it's in on Dantooine now.
Eh,
Still better than Acolyte.
still bad.
Still better than Acolyte. I mean, you know what? Honestly, if you disagree, because I don't care, because it was terrible. It was that upsetting. It was that upsetting. And yeah.
Would I think? Here's the question: if Keanu Reeves was in Acolyte, don't you think that would have fundamentally changed the way that they wrote that character? Do you think that Keanu's influence would have been like, I don't know if my character would do this. That seems irrational for a Jedi to do. Like, do you think that would have any sort of influence whatsoever, or would that immediately just cause rifts in that's like, oh, and then the production didn't work because Keanu was difficult, and everyone's like, no, we all know Keanu's not difficult, thank you very much.
They would have Henry Cavilled him. Yeah. That's what would have happened.
Yeah. You know, if Keanu was in this or say they were like, oh, I'm going to do a season 2, but it's like everyone's the same. The production company's the same. The writing is the same. Leslie Squarehead is at the helm. And they were like, but they got Keanu Reeves. My reaction.
Oh, I don't care.
Okay? Just not going to care. Like, don't care. Go away. Fire everyone. Start over.
Page 1 rewrite.
We need the Etch-a-Sketch of Star Wars. At this point, Disney has fucked it up so bad. We just need the Okay?
Gummy bears bouncing here and there. Yeah, that would be great. They're like, wait a minute.
I mean,
you shook it too hard. Hold on.
Yeah, no.
The power of Christ compels you.
Basically, I mean, at this point, get the priests out, get the holy water.
Get the priests out. We're gonna need some holy people. So
Andrew Campbell says Star Wars was always lame. You know what it was? It was never as good as Lord of the Rings. And if you disagree with me, I don't care.
Yeah, there is going to be a new season of Rings of Power coming out. Are we going to want to talk about that? Because I did watch that first season finally, and we had so much, like there was just so much wrong with it, and the timeline was so ridiculously and absurdly off. And it's like, are we going to watch this and just bash this one this time?
You kind of have to. I mean, we're all paying for Amazon one way or the other. So at least just for the shock.
It was so irrational. I'm like, wait a minute. These two characters can't exist in the same time. They're separated by like hundreds of years. This doesn't even make sense.
And she let him make the rings.
And she was
let
there.
She stood there and watched him make the rings.
Oh, huh. You know
yeah.
what?
So, I know that we're gonna have to do. I mean, I don't know. One's in the chat if you guys want us to watch Ring of Power season 2 and then talk about it, or if you want us to just ignore it and pretend like it never happened, because that's what Amazon should have done when that script came across their desk. I actually have a buddy who used to be my boss at one of the ad agencies that I worked in Hollywood, and he was he worked involved in the marketing of the film. And I remember talking to him about it, and I was like, I think the most upsetting part about this series is that it was written and produced by guys who don't love Tolkien. And he was like, no, they love Tolkien. Like one guy, he speaks Elvish or something or whatever. And I was like, no. when you love something, you don't try to fundamentally change it, alter it, and make it something that you want it to be. You love it. You allow it to exist. You allow it to be what it is. And I think that's the thing that is so frustrating about all these people. You got these like weird trolls that like, oh, I love Acolyte. And it's like, or I love Star Wars and Acolyte's so great. And it's like, but you don't love Star Wars because you don't fundamentally appreciate what the story's telling it, what the story's about, like the lore of it. You're always trying to change it and to make it into your image because you can't make anything original yourself because you're kind of a demon anyways. So
Amoeba says no, LMAO, ignore it. And so
Andrew Campbell's like, one, because I hate you. Oh well, thank you, Andrew Campbell.
It's Salty Papa's even on there. He's like, it never happened. No Ring of Power. It never happened.
Yeah, it's like terrible fan fiction, and in the Salty home growing up,
it's like terrible fan. Yeah. It's like a terrible that someone's like, oh my god, but I got like funded, like I can make like my, you know, like my home baked high school like early college version of, you know, whatever. It's like wait, where did you get all those cameras and like all this equipment? Like this is gonna look amazing. Oh man, it's gonna be so dope. And then like, you know, we're gonna get super high, and then we're gonna get, and it's just like, you're like, this is so terrible. What have you done?
It's so bad. You know what? Actually, let's do a poll in the chat. We'll do, should we talk about Rings of Power? Should we not talk about Rings of Power? Let the chat decide, hammer it out. I don't know, Jason, what do you think we should do?
I say just for the blood pressure, it's good. It's good to get all pumped up. I think it's worth watching because you can oscillate between laughing at how bad it is, and then you can feel the inflammation of getting upset about how bad it is. And I think that is in a way a roller coaster ride. And if you already have Amazon, may as well watch it.
Yeah, we're gonna let and see what the chat says. Speaking of, well, and so we're
chat,
and then we'll
talk the money laundering scheme. So you guys think the Rings of Power is like if somebody read the Cliff's Notes to the Silmarillion and the Lord of the Rings and then tried to make it?
Yeah. There's just no understanding of like ages and like the fact that there's like generations of people that existed between when met this guy and then he met his like great grandson and or you know what, but it's like no, these guys they're together and his son like Isildur and whatever, like it's all the same time. It's all the same time. You're like,
yeah, no, but it's also people that don't they don't love the world Tolkien created. They don't love Middle Earth. To them, it's just something cool. It's something interesting. They like it. They think it's fun.
It is,
but there's
cool.
no.
It's an IP.
Yeah, but there's no.
Guys. You can it's like if you can like Rube Goldberg Mordor. Like you just like break glass and like a bunch of stuff like falls and turns and like before you know it, like Mordor shows up. It's like turnkey Mordor. That is so cool.
It's the most wonderful world out there in fantasy. What Tolkien did was, I mean, Britain didn't have a mythology. The Vikings had mythology, the Greeks had mythology, the Romans had mythology, Japanese have mythology. England had no mythology, and he creates this amazing mythology that also has this really wonderful kind of lesson for humanity. There's a lot to learn. There's like the concept of like there is so much to unpack. Like even in the human experience is like at one time you're Frodo and another time you're you're Gollum. Sometimes in your life experience you feel like it's so relatable, and only people that truly love the lore get that. And only people that love the lore, like Peter Jackson, they did a lot to like upset fans. They cut things out. It's like, dude, it's a really big trilogy of books, and you got to cut stuff down.
So good,
but you can tell he loved it. You can't tell that with the Rings of Power. There's no love, man. There's no love. Anyway, Yeah,
Wait,
Salty Papa says they never. Oh, sorry, they
No,
never
you got it.
understood the backstory and understand Tolkien at all. Fun fact: Rings of Power is banned by the Geneva Convention, but they can subject us all to it because we've bought off Amazon.
Oh, it's fine. I mean, as long as you purchased it, it's not a. There's nothing wrong with you. Like it's technically not a war crime. You paid for it.
What up, Late Night with Cat Podcast? Thanks. I'm assuming you're here for Jason, and we hope we don't disappoint you with our nonsense. So, Keanu Reeves, open invitation to Lucasfilm.
Where does he go?
What does he do? That made us think of a top 5 that would be perfect, guys. Perfect for tonight.
So we got a top 5 coming up that involves the K-Meister himself.
I'm ready.
You want to do the top 5? Should we do the top 5 now? Let's do the top 5.
Should we do it right now?
Sure,
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. Do you want to speculate on like what kind of Star Wars story would you like to see Keanu in?
Well, I don't really care because I'd rather talk about the top 5.
Okay, fine. He's gonna get.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, we could speculate, but I wanted to get to the subject because if we speculate, then might be disappointed in the top 5.
They might be disappointed. We'll get to the other stuff after.
So I didn't have time today to do a bumper graphic for the top 5, but the top 5 is basically which Marvel character in the MCU should Keanu Reeves play?
You ready for my first suggestion?
What's your first suggestion?
Machine Man. Aaron Stack, Machine Man.
Oh, wow, that's a good one.
Because he's somewhat aloof, and at the same time he's a bit tortured. But he
Stoic.
always does the right thing, and he's got the hair. He's got the right look. And
do you think
I think
Machine Man would make a good movie though?
Oh yeah. Yeah, because what it is Machine Man is the AI that you're rooting for, but he knows he can't fall into the hands of the military, and you know that he's out there trying to not be persecuted and judged by like what the Terminator type AI is doing. Machine Man, if done properly, is a very, very you can have a lot of it's that magic trick like they did with like an ET, where at first glance you're like, ugh, but then you are able to relate, your empathy, you're rooting for him, and he can do all kinds of cool stuff like elongate more than he can elongate his hands plus his other stuff.
Nice.
Ooh, his other stuff. Ooh, hey, the ladies might
Very
like that.
nice.
The thing I would like, executives would never touch Machine Man though, because they'd be like, "Well, who's gonna see that movie? I've never even heard of that. I don't even read comic books." Okay,
Good.
That's literally a Disney.
And leave us alone. Yeah, leave us.
That's
alone.
basically a Disney executive right there. I've been in the meetings with them. And that's basically what you're dealing with. All right, so here's our top 5. We thought the top 5 for us would be characters that I think you could sell through to the executives at Disney, which are all terrible, but also could actually be really, really good. Our first one, Jason, is a recast because it needs to happen. They did it for the Hulk. They did it.
Did they?
For Rhodey.
The Hulk?
Mm-hmm.
They did it for Rhodey. They need to do it for this guy. Okay? Namor the Submariner.
Yeah. That was on my list. That was number 2 on my list.
Dude, that artwork is fantastic. Who is that?
Yeah, this artwork is...
Looks like JJ Palancar or something. That's fantastic.
I don't have I should know the signature, but whatever, dude. My brain doesn't work anymore. So this is our number 5 is Namor the Submariner. I love the Submariner. He's a really, really cool character. I don't think they did him right in Wakanda Forever.
Not at all. That was not.
I didn't like the character design. I didn't get the character design. I was like, oh, I thought he was like, Atlantean. And he looks like he's a Mayan or Aztec or something. I don't know what's going on.
Man, he looks like he shouldn't be working here. I don't know what you're doing. What are you talking about? What's going on?
Yeah.
Namor
so I think this would be a great one.
And Namor is so much cooler than Aquaman. And in all
So much cooler than Aqua. Every Marvel character is cooler than any DC character.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, fans out there.
Fought the Nazis, gains and loses his throne, in love with Sue Storm, knows he can't have her, tortured, a man of two worlds, above the ocean, below the ocean, and and Namor's cool. And also the other thing is Namor shows up, it's a roll of the dice. Whose side is he on, right? And that always keeps you guessing. And he has that distant connection with Cap and the old invaders.
Yeah. We don't necessarily agree with Andrew Campbell on this one, but it would be funny to try. It would be funny to try.
Luke Cage was epically cast.
And see, this is why I think this is one of the reasons, Jason, why I picked we picked this top 5 was because we knew you would be perfect for it.
Yeah,
and
you just
knew
came out.
You would bring a lot. Because you
out-
just told me a lot of stuff that I didn't even know about Namor because I never really got into him. I just thought he was cool. When he would appear in Captain America books and X-Men and stuff like that.
All right, so that was actually, I'm not gonna lie, like it's, I did a little bit of reading about him and Salty convinced me. I was like, oh yeah, this is actually okay. Was he in Wakanda Forever? I haven't seen that yet. Okay, but you just explained him so much more. And now I'm like, okay, now I definitely need a movie about him, and we definitely should have Keanu Reeves.
He's got the profile.
All right. Number 4. This is a good one.
4 on the list. Number 4, folks.
Nova.
No, not Chevy Nova. Even though he's got headlights on his chest.
Richard Rider. I mean, I think he would be a great Richard Rider. I like the story of Nova. I like my notes here is just like why I like it is like one of the things that I like about it is you could actually have him. You could have a Nova movie, and then you could have Guardians of the Galaxy crossover film. You could do something like that.
Ooh, okay,
I think that he's a cool character. I mean, I think the stoic, just the nature of Keanu Reeves and a lot of his, John Wick, I think would lend himself to Richard Rider a lot. That same kind of like stoic vibe that you get wrestling with your powers and what you're supposed to do with them. I think Nova's a really cool character that should get a deep dive in the film, like a deep dive.
I used to get caught wrestling with my powers when I was a young teenager all the time by my mom. I tell you.
Oh, that's right.
So Keanu Reeves in the era of like River's Edge and his earlier films would have been great as Nova, because Nova was mid 70s. Marvel realized they had no young characters, and they said, Spider-Man's in college now. We need somebody who's like a rookie beginner hero. And so they invented Nova. And the idea is that Xandar has the Nova Corps. They're like the Green Lanterns of the Marvel Universe. And obviously he inadvertently becomes the Nova for our sector or whatever. And so he has to go through that learning curve of, I've got these powers, I've got this new responsibility, but I can't make sure I can do my homework. Keanu Reeves' current state, if they did him as Nova, he would have to be somebody who has been Nova for several years.
Old Nova,
yeah. Sorry.
Chevy
yeah,
Nova.
but it's still, I think you
Chevy
great. Keanu Reeves is that guy though. He doesn't age, like you could, and technology. You just like do a little bit of you could do flashbacks and young them up a bit, and it'll look a lot better now than it would like when they were doing it with X-Men. So X-Men and some of the other films. I think it totally could do it.
What's the we got a lot of good. There's a lot of excellent suggestions in the chat. I'm loving it a lot. Number 4, we're only at number 4, folks. Mm-hmm. So hold on.
Number 4, yeah. So that's a number 4.
Disney Marvel should be paying us for this.
They should be paying us. No, not just paying us. They should just hire us to just be there to sit and eat nachos and be like, no, terrible idea. Let me tell you something.
Okay, you should
do this.
You should do.
Cast this guy. And then we'll just wipe our hands on our shirts and be like,
we're like, hold on. We're gonna call our buddy Simply Green. Hold on. What's he got? Nope. He says that's a terrible idea too. Yep. Nope. Don't do it.
You're gonna have to send another consulting check to Simply Green. Get on it. All right. Number 3.
Number 3 of the top 5.
Oh shit! Wait, what happened?
shit.
Don't do the wheel.
Glitch in the Matrix.
Don't do the
Glitch in
wheel.
the Matrix.
Don't do
Yep.
the wheel.
Don't do the wheel. Why do the mouse wheel always
You're ahead. You're
betrays
ahead.
me?
You're ahead. We're on number 3. You got to go back one.
Wait. Oh, I gotta go back one. Sacagawea,
You're
guys.
terrible.
Oh, I am terrible.
Oh, did you?
You know what?
Hold on. Did you mess
I
up the
messed
order?
up the order.
All right, that's fine. No,
The
that's
show
fine.
is off the rails, out of control.
Off the rails. Number 3 is officially now Iron Fist.
Number 3 is officially Iron Fist.
Iron Fist.
changing
We're
the-
recasting because technically Netflix stuff is not MCU, guys. So Daredevil series is going to be the first one in the MCU.
We do enjoy
of
some
the
of this
Netflix
stuff,
stuff.
but this Iron Fist just has to go. Iron Fist just has to go.
Oh, well, no. I mean, Iron Fist didn't happen. It was terrible. It was unwatchable. Good God, they did two seasons.
I watched.
However,
I watched them.
Iron
I
Fist
and the
is
Defenders.
still Iron Fist
And
is
the
still
Defenders.
better than Acolyte. Iron Fist is still better than Acolyte.
Did the dragon wake up in the second
Ooh,
season
that's
of
interesting.
Iron Fist?
That's interesting. Is Iron Fist better than Acolyte? Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. Wow.
So number 3, Iron
Was it-
Fist. I think it would work. I think it would be good. Yeah, Keanu Reeves might be a little old. Special effects, guys. Special effects and imagination. Okay,
Fucking
it could work.
Boomer
It could
over
work.
here.
Damn it. Maybe 10 years ago. Anyway, number 4. Number 5. Number 3. Number 2.
Number 2.
Paladin?
Number 2 of our top.
Oh, that would have been a good one.
I like how
Paladin.
I like how Jason was just like, you know what? Yeah, I don't even want to talk about this. Let's just move on. Next one.
Move on. He's like, no.
Listen,
Dude, I
you're
like
making
Iron
me-
Fist comics.
No, it's good stuff, but you're making me think about the Netflix show, and I don't. But the guys,
You
the
don't
Jerry
wanna think
curl,
about it.
and I just can't.
Dude, yeah, he was letting his soul glow. I mean,
Oh,
isn't that
so bad?
Isn't that the
Yeah,
part?
it was-
Isn't that the whole point of Iron Fist? He's
And-
letting his
and dude,
soul glow.
Dude, that fucking Walkman would not work. That Walkman would not work after 20 years.
Oh
And
my.
One
Look,
set of
see-
bad. It was just bad news.
JT Gunn says earlier on he was wondering if it was Iron Fist. You damn right, Iron Fist. And then I got called a boomer
then
because
you got
I
called
don't
a
know how to
boomer.
use my mouse wheel. I don't know how to use my mouse wheel.
Top 5. Which Marvel character in the MCU should Keanu Reeves play? We're moving on to number 2 because
Number
number,
two.
3
Paladin?
was Iron Fist. Number 2.
Paladin?
Woo! Ghost Rider, baby.
Rider.
my
Come
work.
on, guys.
It's my work.
Come on.
Tortured.
I'm sorry.
haunted.
Nick Cage, no. Keanu Reeves?
I mean,
yes.
Nick Cage was humorous. It was entertainable. It was entertaining, but it was bad.
Nick Cage
It
and
was-
his champagne glass of jelly beans that didn't just
Dude, oh my
that
God.
didn't just like
Oh
that
my
didn't just stop you in your tracks. Like this is like brilliant.
This would be
That
so. And
movie was
Keanu
so bad.
and Keanu
And then when him and Peter Fonda do the Ghost Riders in the sky, you weren't just
Yeah.
like tears falling down your cheek. Like
Oh,
it didn't
my
move you, huh?
gosh, dude.
Didn't move you?
So,
Nothing.
So Amoeba brings up a number of good points. So the motorcycle, Keanu Reeves is an avid motorcyclist and actually has like I think he owns a motorcycle shop and has like custom, I think Indian motorcycles and custom. There's a company that he works with. Like this would be super cool for him to come out in the edgy black jacket. Oh, what else?
Yep.
The metal chain. I mean,
And
it would be
revenge. It's all about revenge. Like John Wick. It's like John Wick,
Mhm.
Ghost Rider. John Wick. It's a really natural, like just
It is.
Amoeba's
But
so
also,
grateful. He would
but also
not-
tortured.
He
Also
would not
tortured.
only kill at Ghost Rider, but he'd also kill me because I'm drowning in my own saliva in the theater. That's pretty much what we're expecting, and why he's so good for this. It would be absolutely. And I'm not like a massive comic book guy. Everybody who watches the show knows this, but this would be brilliant. It would be such a great character for him.
Yeah. So I'm glad that we accidentally put it at number 2. I think actually thinking about it now, it makes sense.
I think it is.
It
good.
does
I mean,
make sense. And now I'm wondering, should we have put it at number 1? Because
Oh.
damn.
No.
Damn.
I think we did number 1 right. I think we did number 1 right because
I do too.
There's yeah. Oh, howdy,
What
Jim.
up? Jim Tells You.
So-
Hey everyone,
Jim
you guys should check out Jim Tells You, his channel. He does comic book reviews. He did a review for Silence Do Good, and it's pretty good. I was very honored that he did that. And
I gotta
liked
go
it. You guys
watch
should
that.
check it out.
Yeah.
You guys
Yeah,
should go.
pin that.
All right,
We
number
got-
1. Number
Oh,
1.
here it is. Here it is.
Punisher?
folks.
What do you think it is, Jason? What do
It's
you
either
want it
gonna
to be?
It should either be Punisher, Paladin, or Two Gun Kid. One of those 3.
Ooh, okay.
Oh.
Punisher. Well, here's the one thing. So just a caveat.
Punisher.
We were trying to go with Punisher's actually it's actually interesting, but we were trying to go with ones that we thought they didn't quite nail right if it existed already. If it existed already in one of the universes, we were like, they didn't do a very good job. If someone's done a good job, like John Bernthal, it's like, I don't know. I mean, I know that Netflix is Netflix, but I mean, me personally, that he was so good as the Punisher, and I absolutely would not even want to have to try to compare him to Keanu Reeves in that.
Yeah, I thought he was really, really good too. And also, me being selfish and just going, these are the characters that I love, and I think that he would do well at. So there's also that factor. So number 1. That said, number 1.
Number 1. Oh,
Point Break.
Yeah, you know that's right, baby. Come on. Point Break, surfing, Silver Surfer.
That is perfect, actually. Yeah. I didn't even
You
of
think
that
about
one.
it. If they did
I can see
Silver
it.
Surfer right, they would do the Fantastic Four from 1966. My dad had these issues and got rid of them because you are dumb, father. What was it? Issues 48 to 51?
48 to 50.
Yeah, 48 to 50. The story of Galactus. Oh my gosh. Or you
the
do
chat
Silver
is mixed
Surfer
on
number
this.
1.
This is great. This is great. The chat is mixed. I love it.
You do Silver Surfer 1 where you just after you do the story after he leaves Galactus.
Hey, you kids! Either you kids see someone run through here with a car stereo? All right. Oh, let me go.
Man, I don't know, man. I just I'm kind of torn between 2 and 1, but I love Silver Surfer, and he has not been done right. He has not been, and I don't think Marvel's going to do him right when they do him again.
It was done interesting, but he wasn't done right. He wasn't, and it could be so. It could be so cool if you have an actor that people go, "Whoa, this is okay." Okay, you could 100% make it a movie. They could have one of these Marvel characters that they're like, oh, he's doing movies or he has a show where, and it seems like it's about him, but then boom, the Silver Surfer comes in and it's actually about him, and we're like, oh, wait a minute.
Or it's just a Silver Surfer movie because Silver Surfer is awesome and one of the coolest characters. I don't care what anyone says. He's a liquid metal dude that rides a surfboard in space. Come on!
Oh, dude, awesome. You know what that I mean, come on. You know what that reminds me?
Jason's like, no, I don't like this choice. I don't like this
No,
choice.
it's good. Because Keanu could pull off the Nornmad part of the Silver Surfer, and he can pull off the badass, merciless, relentless Herald of Galactus. And it's a great arc because when you encounter the Silver Surfer, he's the threat, and he's trying to find planets that Galactus can consume, and he's got a moment of crisis, and then it's not like the switch gets flipped. He goes on a little journey where slowly parts of his humanity get reawoken, and he realizes, my God, the woman I love, the planet I love, I can never go back to it because I made this Faustian bargain with Galactus, and then he defies Galactus. He's got a great story arc, you know.
Yes.
Excellent!
Yeah, Scrap Draw Studio says stoic badass with slight edge of depression as the herald of the apocalypse. Exactly. And that's why I love this idea. And if Marvel had any sense and didn't have women as executives in the studio screwing everything up, this would have already happened.
It's very, I mean, there's so many factors that go into why they do some of these things, but you have to wonder sometimes when they choose to do things like Iron Fist, or they choose to do certain things. You're like, what? Wait a minute, hold on a second. You guys made a bunch of good decisions, and then all of a sudden, what favor is this? Who called in a favor? What is this?
What happened?
What happened?
So what happened was that there was an initial wave of people who loved these characters, loved the lore, and it caught fire. And once it caught fire, every little protege, every little ladder climber who hadn't read any of this crap said, "Well, this is a gold rush. I gotta call in some favors from my uncle and my father and get myself positioned to be working on these projects because it's a sure thing." It's a sure thing. Oh, they've done all the hard work in these comic books. I've just got to
All the work is done. Exactly.
Yeah. Flip City Magazine says, "Dude, Jason, see, we're all friends and family here. We gotta have her on soon."
Great.
Ooh, maybe the two of you at the same
Silver
time. It'll be wild, unthinkable. So that, ladies and gentlemen, has been our top 5. And so, as we were talking about comic books, let's talk about a comic book, a special comic book, a good comic book. A very fantastic read.
Let's talk about it.
And let's check out this trailer. And then Jason, you can talk to us about it.
This is fascinating. Oh yeah, axes. Yes, axes.
Axes.
This is my Game of Thrones trailer.
Well, I love this one. I see this one a lot.
Hey, we here all week.
What? Who does these animations, by the way? Is that you?
It's all me. Yeah, it's artwork from the
Nice.
comic.
This is wild. That was like a Terry Gilliam. Oh, this feels like an early 90s cartoon. Whoa.
This was guerrilla marketing. This is comics of the video game. You win by not buying the bad one.
You saved money. You saved money.
Yeah, that gimmick.
If you want to be a winner, back Jupiter. That's
That
right.
was pretty awesome.
So in these turbulent times we live in, the Marvel and DC, they're trying to rip you off from start to finish. They're trying to rip you off. The only way to win at comics is to not buy the bad ones, and so
Yeah.
Jupiter is one of the good ones.
I'm definitely.
fun. That was walking through like 6 different.
So I bought it
levels.
last year,
That was so
actually,
cool.
late last year.
Yep.
And I actually really enjoyed the read. And you guys get actually 2 stories
Yeah.
in one.
I don't rip you off with a variant cover. You get one comic book with 2 covers because I care about your dollars.
So tell us a little bit about it. What is the log line? What is your pitch when's your elevator pitch on this thing?
So Jupiter is the other kind of OMAC. Everybody's familiar with Jack Kirby's OMAC, the one-man Army Corps. This OMAC is the one-man anthology comic. It is 40 pages, full color, and it's all by myself. And my approach is that I've got this 40-page canvas, and I don't have a corporate overlord, don't have an editor telling me what I can and cannot do. So I can then do what I want to do, which is tell one big story. And so every issue of Jupiter is an installment of this ongoing story. But then that leaves me about 10 pages to do experimental pieces, short stories, some one-page strips and so forth. And because I'm telling different kinds of stories, I can mix up my art style. So as you saw in that trailer, there's some that's like kind of formally illustrated where I'm doing my absolute best to try to draw like a Steve Root or a John Buscema in that classic style. Then there's other sections where I'm homaging Jack Kirby, who I love. And then there's other strips in there where I'm doing a tip of the hat to either classic Disney or 1970s French comics like Mobius and so forth. So it's if you took Jack Kirby, John Byrne, Mike Barron, Scott McCloud, Jim Starlin, and Grant Morrison, put it in a blender, mixed it up with some Alan Moore, and you spat it out, you would have Jupiter. It's all the things that have been sitting in my mind, all the influences that have been making me want to do comics for so long. Finally getting it out of my system and on the page.
So my favorite part, I mean, I really like the way that you wrote the young girl there. So it's like it opens on like a teenage girl, and she's constantly on her phone and getting text messages and playing games with her friends. And I thought that was written very well. I'm like, do you have a daughter? You must have a daughter or like close to a niece or somebody. Because it was very on the nose.
I'm doing my job, guys. I'm doing my work. I've got 3 kids. Yes. So
so it was like this guy apparently had a teenage daughter or something, because it was written very well. But I like the world that like she kind of goes like the Captain Kleinbolt. The art for the Captain Kleinbolt was my favorite because that was very much all along the lines of Buscema or Kirby even,
Kirby.
you know, a little bit and or Stephen Root, kind of, you know, a little bit of like. If I'm understanding correctly, like a little bit like of Nova or like Nexus or something like that along the lines of that character. And I really like that because I always like the space stuff. I like the space stuff. That's why we picked Silver Surfer.
The premise of Jupiter is that one of the things that I think is an issue is that mainstream comics, they're too crowded with superheroes. Like the superheroes aren't special. Like there's even so in their solo books, the superheroes aren't special, and in the main books, it's like wall to wall superheroes. They're standing around talking. There's nothing special about them, and you're not looking up in the sky and seeing them across the sky. They're sitting around having coffee and having meetings and stuff like that. So what I wanted to do was the biggest part of Jupiter is this ongoing story that has Brenda, that young lady. It takes place in a world where there's no superheroes. The only superheroes exist in comic books in that world. And what's unique is that in the world of Jupiter, Jack Kirby in the 1950s, when he had his mainline comic book company, he didn't have his distribution issues. So Jack Kirby stayed at mainline comics in the world of Jupiter. So this Captain Kleinbottle character, you'll notice it says mainline comics group. So in this world, Jack Kirby continued to do his own work, profited from it. And in this world, he became like a beloved Walt Disney type figure. And so in this world, there's like Captain Kleinbottle, amusement parks, TV shows, all that kind of stuff. So all the great ideas that Jack Kirby basically gave to Marvel and DC in the 60s and 70s, he put them into the Captain Kleinbottle and the other characters and profited from them. And he's a beloved character, right? So that is the superhero touchstone in the world of Jupiter. So this young lady right here, she's in a world where there's no superheroes. Her family and her go to this cabin in northern Minnesota. They are trying to escape from a family tragedy. They're trying to do a reset on their lives. There's a cloud hovering over the family. I do not tell you in this issue exactly what the family tragedy is, but there's hints in there, and you'll find out more in issue 2. But point being, they've gone to an isolated cabin to get away from, reset their lives, and you get the sense that they're trudging. She's trudging. She's stuck. She feels like she's been kidnapped by her family because she's the kind of personality that wants to fix problems, and she can't fix this problem. Cannot fix this problem. So she has the impulse to. She wishes she could run away. So while they're on this vacation, a civil war in a neighboring dimension rips a hole in reality, and the events in this neighboring revolution, which you saw in that trailer with the Game of Thrones part of the trailer, smashes into their world, and as a consequence, this is going to set off a chain reaction, whereby she will become her world's first, only, and greatest superhero. So I'm not going to crowd it with a bunch of extra superheroes and sidekicks. She's going to be the only superhero. But because of what happens in this issue, threats are going to begin to come into her world, and the threats are going to mount. I have about 20 issues of this thing planned out. I was very careful with my world building, and this is like the beginning of a long story that's going to continue to build and build and build. There's going to be unexpected turns, but it's going to all be organic. It's not going to be forced. Now, the key thing is that she now is going to have the ability to go anywhere, right? So imagine you're a teenager, you want to run away from home. You can suddenly open up a hole in reality, never have to do homework again, never have to grow up, never have to deal with real world problems. But she has to decide between fight or flight. Does she run away or does she stay and fight? Because as a consequence of what's happening here, threats are abounding, threats are going to be invading, and then she's going to basically become that superhero that her world needs.
Threats are
so
abounding.
we got a question from Scrapjaw Studio. What's the ship time like on these Jupiter? So you ship the next day, like someone orders it, you're shipping it off the next day, right?
Yep, Jupiter is in demand. It funded on Indiegogo last year, and right now I'm making the rounds because I want to get the book to 10K. We're approaching $9,400, and if you put in an order ship the following day, shipping and handling is only $5. $5 shipping anywhere in the United States for $5.
Dude.
I've got several thousand of these beauties over here bagged and ready to go. So I fulfill the following day.
You will not get as good of a deal on Silence Do Good Scrapjaw, and we will not ship it nearly as fast. However, you'll get it within 3 to 5 days.
You will, and it will look super dope.
3 to 5 days. I'm not as good or on the money as Jason is because he's much more tightened up and professional than I am. It's a little loose and fast here at the Salty Studios. So
you're spinning plates.
It's definitely loose, and it's sometimes a little too fast.
Yeah, and always salty.
Now, another rule that I live by in life, another adage, is that if you pick up a comic book you've never seen before, and there's a pie ad in it, chances are it's going to be a good comic book because that means it was created in the 1970s, 1980s.
A pie ad?
A pie ad, like a Hostess pie ad.
Yeah.
So in honor of that great tradition, there is
one in there.
I put one in there, and my pie ad features Salvador Dali.
Oh, that's amazing.
Cool.
Yeah. So
that's awesome.
This is just that little bit of
pie. Everyone loves pie.
It's that little extra touch. The other thing,
and if you don't love pie, you don't love America. You're probably communist. And you know what? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
If you don't like pie, you're a communist. And I just don't want to know who you are ever in life. Okay.
The other thing is handy about Jupiter, especially, and this is very timely. I had no idea how bad the inflation would get. There is basically a page and a half explanation on why Keynesian economics don't work. It's just a little interstitial here and here. There's a little thing about, and it's very, very simple. Very, very simple.
Oh man,
if you have
my father would enjoy that part. I actually would enjoy. So, are you saying that you're writing that from your Austrian perspective?
yeah, that is you are totally 100% correct. Yeah, that is correct.
Okay.
So if you have any friends or
100%
relatives,
correct. It's the Austrian perspective. Yes.
if you have any friends or relatives who believe that you can print money and become wealthy, and make a country more wealthy, you can just issue a Jupiter. They'll read it.
Well, you
it'll
know what we
begin to
say
sink
about
in.
those people. Well, you know what we wonder about those people when they're
He
like
was
that.
a homosexualist then.
Are they?
Just,
So this character, Captain Model, plays an important role in the book because every issue is going to have a little diegetic story with Captain Kleinbottle, where the character
Captain Kleinbottle that I mistakenly just called Captain Kleinbolt
That's okay.
because I was
It's your
mixing him up with Darkbolt. I don't know why.
It's okay. It's your
Because
show.
we were considering Darkbolt for Keanu Reeves, but then we passed
There
on
you
it because no one knows who the hell that guy is.
Captain
Yes,
Kleinbottle.
So
And I got my membership card somewhere. Where's my membership?
Yeah. So what's great about Captain Kleinbottle is everybody who backs Jupiter gets a free Captain Kleinbottle fan club membership card. And in the spirit of Captain Kleinbottle being a time traveler, the dates on the membership card run backward in time from 2023 to 1953.
Oh, that's so cool.
And what is important is that it's
I love
important.
the thought that you've gone into in this.
Yeah, it goes really deep.
Fantastic. It is really like we are super duper appreciative of this like level of like it's almost meta how deep you've gone with this. I mean, it is, but it's like I don't even want to call it that because like then the kids will like call me a boomer or something like that. They'll be like, you don't even know what you're talking about.
Culture's important. Culture is going to be here when we're gone, right?
You should come down to the Chattanooga Comic-Con and sit at our table and sell your book alongside my book because I think they're kind of good companions to one another.
I think so. I definitely. So the back of the Captain Kleinbottle fan club membership has a very important message that I think you all should have in your wallets, have readily available. The message of Captain Kleinbottle is that if you're not part of the problem, you're actually the solution. So those people out there that
Wait, let's get that again. If you're not part of the
problem, you are actually the solution.
You are actually the solution.
Yeah. So those people out there that are telling you, hey, you're going to your job, you're taking care of your family, you're having fun on the weekend, you're playing video games, reading comic books, minding your own business. You're the problem. The world is burning. The world is falling apart. You're actually what everybody should be doing. It's the people that are running around burning down their cities, committing acts of violence and terrorism. They're actually the problem. So that's one of Captain Kleinbottle's messages.
The problematic people are the problem. I mean, come on.
Yep.
Well, dude,
the assholes are the problem. The assholes.
Dude, this is like the deepest dive. We so appreciate this because like getting new comics and new perspectives and new like styles, just the styles of comic books, because some people are very traditional and some people like to mix it up. And this appears to be
seems like it's doing all of that. It's doing
like
all of that.
You're hearkening back. There's homage, but at the same time, you're also doing this totally new perspective and new thing. And I'm like, man, I almost want to, like microdose and start reading this because I feel like this is like I'll just be like, no, I'm not coming back, guys. I'm not coming back.
There's great art and great ideas on every page. Now, the other thing you get if you back Jupiter, you get an official. What's that?
But wait, there's more.
There's more.
But wait, there's more.
If you back Jupiter, you get an official sanction Legion of Memers license to meme. Dude, it's not funny. You're laughing, but it's not funny.
This is great.
They're arresting people. Okay, so
this is not funny.
So it's not funny, guys. This is serious. It's got the seal.
They're arresting people in England. Don't do anything funny on the internet in England.
I would get arrested for the pocket knife that I carry every day.
That's right. In China. So I got together with the Legion of Memers and we said, hey, it's getting crazy out there. There's meme police, there's meme checkpoints. People are swimming naked. We need to cover them. We need to make sure that they're fully protected. So we did this commemorative license to meme. So you get this free if you back Jupiter, $13, $5 shipping and handling. You get the official license to meme in addition to the Captain Klein Bottle Fan Club membership card. And again, 40 pages, full color. The main story is like 24 pages. And then there's great little surrealist, cubist little strips in here. We've got the pie ad. There's a 4-page short story, horror story. Just a lot of fun.
I love a good horror story. It takes place in a brothel,
Wait,
right?
a horror story.
It's not like a Chester Brown story. This is a horror story. Yes.
So is it whores like you're from New Jersey whores or like
no. Like
horror
like what's
very scary story. And Salt, you said it. It's without spoiling it. A young boy is asleep at night in New Orleans, hears something outside his window, goes off to investigate, sees evidence of dragons, sees tentacles, always on the very edge of perception, persists, chases down the monsters through the early dawn in New Orleans. Not going to tell you how it ends, but I think you are hard in this era where Marvel and DC are giving you 6-issue story arcs that go nowhere. I'm giving you a legit 4-page story that will give you goosebumps.
Nice.
Damn, no, that was the elevator pitch for sure. I mean,
it was the
Las Vegas elevator.
That was the Las Vegas elevator down to the casinos, and now I'm like, I'm not spending my money at the casinos. I'm going to spend my money on this comic book, which I did, and I bought the dealer pack.
Dude,
you should buy the dealer pack too.
It looks good.
So I've actually been giving these out. I have a couple left that I'm going to give out. I might actually give them out at the Chattanooga Comic-Con if you don't want to come and visit, because I saw the
yes.
And I will do that. Ooh, maybe I'll pack it in for as a giveaway when with my book. So we are 10 past the hour, so we're going to take our hour break that we do and play you a new music video, Amoeba. A new music video.
It's not new. She might have seen it once before.
She might have already seen it once before. Well, it's not the other one that we play all the time.
Not the same music video that we play all the time.
It's not the same music video.
This will be. We are going to Chattanooga, right? I still need to deal with my is Chattanooga real?
I mean, I don't know. It might just be a place in your mind.
We're hoping to. I hope to get down there and be there for at least one day of the Chattanooga Comic-Con. I do have a business to run and stuff to deal with, but Salty and Savage, I feel like needs to represent at the, are you having a booth? Do you have a booth?
We have a booth. Yeah, we have a booth. Turkey Robot Comics has a booth.
Oh my gosh.
I will say that Chattanooga does sound like
I'm coming every day.
Description.
We're taking over.
Well, but Chattanooga does sound like a southern description of a condition. I get that, but it actually might be a real place.
Little Johnny, he's not doing so well. He came down.
Chattanooga was a pivotal moment in the Civil War, and we'll get into that another day, or maybe in Silence Duga. Anyway, we're gonna play this music video. I got to go to the bathroom.
He needs to go to the bathroom, so we're gonna full size this. We're gonna make this look super awesome. And then we're going to take a 3-minute and 29-second break. Everybody, we love you. We'll see you in just a few.
Yeah.
It all begins with repetition. Needles moving to the on position. Scraping glass as if it was a tradition. Leaving us with this chronic affliction. This breed. This time to be on this evolution. This breed creates this breed. On this time to be on this evolution. The dragon burns with the flame of addiction, twisting words into every position. No explanation for my current condition. The habits open when we make the incision. Now it's gotta be
I was just gonna say, like your buddy's sideburns, you know, that he did. That should have never been a thing. I'm just gonna
Dude,
say
he cut
that
those
should have
clean
never been a thing.
just for that music video that day.
That whole like this, that should never have been a thing. That was only for
2000
wrestlers and
2008.
Guidos. No,
2008 was
never.
a thing. It
Should
was a
never
thing.
have been a thing.
No,
Should
it's
never have
not.
been a thing.
It should not have been a thing. That was Nicholas Electricitus, aka Nick66, aka one of my best friends from high school growing up. He was like the first guy who came up to me when I went to a new high school. I was just like sitting alone listening to my headphones, and he walked up and he's like, "Hey man, what are you listening to?" And I was like, and I just looked at him. I was like, "Slayer," and he goes, "Awesome," and he like sat down, and then we were friends.
Nice.
Boom. Well, enough about me and my terrible 2008 music video. That was fun though. Another guy I went to high school with created the concept for the video, and he did it for like a college class. It was fun stuff. I hope Amoeba. I hope you appreciated that it wasn't the same video that you've seen 1,000 times, even though that video is fan-fucking-tastic.
That video is fantastic. I don't even know if Jason's seen it. We should have played it for him. Maybe we'll play it in the second hour.
We might have to play it at the end of the second hour or something. Amoeba will be like, "Oh,
we might have to. We might have to, just for the fact that we got some new visitors because of Jason, and you guys should see our OJ music video that is totally awesome.
Super
that we might or might not play every week because I have not had time to make a new music video because I've been drawing my comic book.
Do you feel sorry for the youngsters who don't know about AC Collins driving the white Ford Bronco and the daily updates from the trial? And do you think that,
dude, I was such a little kid when that happened. I was such a little kid when that happened, and it was something that consumed our lives for like a solid year and a half because daytime TV was obsessed with that freaking case. And I still have memories of it, even though I was a kid. I mean, I was a little kid, and I watched the mini series with Cuba Gooding Jr., who did a terrible job as OJ. That was a really bad casting. It was such a bad casting.
It sounded interesting. But it's not great.
The rest of the casting was actually pretty on the nose. The Cuba Gooding Jr. one was just not good casting.
Everybody in the courtroom was pretty great.
Yeah, I mean, The
Actually,
what's her name that played Marsha Clark? She was good. The guy that played Christopher Darden, he was great. I mean, he was really good.
I actually attended a wedding where Judge Ito was the officiant. He married the people. I was like, oh my god, is that Judge Ito?
Oh man,
Yeah.
dude.
At some point
I
in the
think
night during the reception, I had to go say what's up.
I think when my dad went to Southwestern Law School, I think Darden was I think he was either teaching there or he was one of my dad's professors. He'll correct in the chat.
Really?
Yeah, so being from LA, like the OJ trial, I mean, people say, "Oh, the OJ trial affected everyone in America." You have no idea what effect that had on us living in Los Angeles and LA County. It was just it was everything, man, for like a year and a half, dude. It was crazy.
And
he says teaching there. So he didn't teach. My dad wasn't a student of his, but when he was at Southwestern Law School, when I was a kid,
you also have to remember
he was teaching there
in Los Angeles. Everybody's kind of worried about the verdict from the OJ trial after the Rodney King riots. And so it was a very concerning, extremely tense time in the city. And with how prolific, it wasn't just like some guy named Rodney King or whatever. This was the juice, dude.
It was freaking the juice.
And Nicole Brown Simpson. It was like, what is going on right now? What? It was, and everybody was so confused and couldn't believe it.
You know who wasn't worried though? You know who wasn't worried?
Who wasn't worried?
The Koreans. Just weren't
You're
worried.
right. You're right. They weren't.
No, I mean, they weren't worried. The Koreans were like, "Yo, we've done this before. We're gonna sit on our rooftops with motherfucking rifles
for a second.
Just
I was
be
like,
like,
what are you talking about?" And now, okay, Koreatown.
What?
Yeah, no, they handled it. There's a whole documentary just
a whole documentary.
Those guys.
It is the greatest Second Amendment argument in the history of Second Amendment arguments. Is Koreatown, Rodney King riots. Literally, the entire area around it is burnt to the ground, and Koreatown's like, "What up?"
Yeah, everybody
we out gangstered the gangsters.
Businesses.
If only Minnesota, Minneapolis had more Koreans.
Oh my god!
You guys needed some rooftop Koreans, man.
We
were
have
wearing like headbands. Like there's like, I'm gonna look up a picture. You guys don't even know.
If you have more Koreans, you have the best like foot spas. I mean, come on, you're gonna have great nail places.
We have a lot of Hmong in Minnesota, and they are wonderful, hardworking people.
Really? The Hmong? Yes, I read an extremely lengthy story about them when I was in one of my journalism classes. That an extremely interesting people, and their entire culture is so fascinating. What happened to them and how they were displaced and like what murdered? I mean, it's just absolutely terrible. Like, oh my god,
rooftop Koreans! Look,
rooftop
the
Koreans.
Boys, nothing burning. These fools right here. I got my M14. I got this freaking shotgun right here. I think that's barrel. This guy's barrel sweeping. That's he didn't take any NRA classes. This guy here didn't take any NRA classes because he's like barrel sweeping his buddy right here.
What I think is wonderful about this, not only is it a good example of the Second Amendment, but I don't recall hearing that they even had to shoot anybody, right? I mean,
they shot. There were shots fired.
I think they did shoot a couple. Yeah,
there were no like reports of like, this Korean, like there were no charges filed against them. Everybody was like, you know what? We're just gonna look. They all wore headbands, so they knew not to shoot each other. Like, like. Even though that other guy's
it was great, man. It's a great example of Americanism right here. Americanism, and I love it. I love this story.
They could all be shooting 22 LRs, and it wouldn't matter. Like they still would be standing there.
Yeah, so great. Such a good American story that needs to be turned into a movie.
It should be
Korean.
Dude, all right, so there was another story that we were hoping to talk about. It's a fascinating
starring Keanu Reeves. It could star Keanu Reeves.
Oh my god, it could star Keanu Reeves. He's the head Korean.
Oh my gosh, dude. Well, you had him in a samurai movie. Put him in the rooftop Korean movie.
We're gonna do it. Deadpool and Wolverine. So we talked about it for the last few weeks. There was a deleted scene that apparently shows that Gambit lives somehow, which could possibly tease a potential future MCU. So Channing Tatum, who I don't know how they did it, but somehow, even though his accent and his speaking needs to they can completely ADR him, completely VO, just take his voice out of it. But he looked so good as Gambit, man. Like, come on.
You think he did? I think he. I thought I've always seen Gambit as like a much more like leaner, taller guy, and then he shows up, and I was like,
he should be more slender. But I was like,
it's like if I put the Gambit suit on, you'd be like this puffy dude in a Gambit suit. You're like, what the is going on, bro?
I didn't think I would like, and then I was like, I don't know. He kind of looks awesome. His accent is so bad. It's so bad. But I feel like it has potential. And there's a scene here that apparently, shows that he
full screen. Let's watch it.
Full may or may not leave. We're gonna share this. Here we go.
Or just with us on the side.
Hold on. Yeah, with us on the side.
They could have Wilford Brimley do the voiceover for Gambit.
I got diabetes. So bad. Everyone's just like, diabetes. I mean, I don't.
Here's the thing. I don't think Gambit is a great enough character to carry his own film. You know what I mean?
I think that they would do a show, and it would be him, and there would be like one or two other characters. They would do a show for sure instead of a movie. And then
I think a limited series would be good. Yeah, I think
the same thing they did with that John Cena character. With the what was that? Yeah, with Peacemaker. I feel like it would be the same kind of idea. You'd have all these other characters that are supporting that, like, may or may not, eventually lead to their own thing, depending on who we can get to cast in the roles. But you get Channing, and Channing is one of those guys that at this point, like a role like this, he's like, oh, like I'll take a pay cut. Like, I want to do this. Like, this is gonna be dope. And
but if you do Gambit, you got to have Rogue, right? You got to have Rogue.
There's got to be a hint either at the very beginning or at the end, most likely at the end of the movie, about like him meeting Rogue in some place, in some bar or something like that.
Jason, back me up here. If you're gonna do a limited series with Gambit, it's called Gambit and Rogue, and it's like a love story, 6 episodes love story for the ladies.
Like a WandaVision.
Yeah. So it's he's a bad boy, but he's trying to change, and I can help change him. And then he's like,
the ladies will love that.
He's a gambler.
And he's like, I love you, but if I'm with you, you're in danger. And that's the dynamic. And then she's got the, I can't touch you, but I love you. And there's a lot there. So if you're going to do it, you got to do it justice.
So no Gambit movie or series. It's Gambit and Rogue. Oh, maybe that's going to be our next top 5. Who
Gambit
should
Rogue.
play
Like
Rogue?
Like Tank.
No, I'm kidding. Who should play Rogue? The next top 5.
The next top 5.
That's actually, that is a fantastic. I mean, we're not gonna like sugarcoat it. That is a fantastic top 5. Who should play Rogue in the new? If we're gonna go ahead and do Gambit with Tatum of Chandling, then who are we gonna go with? Do we bring someone that has like been in his like cinematic universe before, that he had good chemistry with? Do we bring somebody who is just like no, just someone who's perfect for the role, or do we put somebody who's kind of like him, where it's like not necessarily perfect, but a super interesting choice and just might work?
Yeah,
it should be a new casting. And so Rogue, if you do Rogue, you have to do it where there's other mutants where she can absorb their powers, because that's how that works. So she has to be she has to be hesitant.
So lesser mutants.
Yeah. So so you can't just do a road trip show with Rogue and Gambit, right?
No,
so
I mean there's definitely
got to be around.
you basically will have like the secondary cast of X-Men, the animated series from on
Exactly,
Fox
yeah.
back in the day, like back in the day. So like not Beast, not Storm, not like the bigger X-Men, but like basically like the New Mutants at X-Force
Yeah.
are like around
Yep.
Gambit and Rogue, and they're doing their thing. And then like you get a cameo from Patrick Stewart, who's like, oh, you know, blah blah blah, bye, and then that's it, you know,
Blah
like
blah
episode 2.
bye.
She's she's a teacher at the Xavier School, and she's taking a busload of mutants to Mardi Gras, and
To show
they
off their
well, maybe,
Powers.
maybe
Their
depending on how
powers.
you.
oh, they're
maybe
show their power,
depending,
show off their powers, show off their powers. Got you.
Depending.
Restraint to show off their restraint.
depending on who we cast, perhaps. And then the bus breaks down, they get ambushed,
I mean,
and then they run into Gambit, and then they're not sure if he's going to be a predator or a protector, and then suddenly these teenage mutants, maybe they're just barely legal, they're in jeopardy, and she's got to get them back to the mansion, and that's the story that runs its course, and then you go from there.
man, I mean, it sounds like
I
the
like
triple X-Men, barely legal. All right.
I would.
Well, I mean,
I'm
because you
trying
wanted
to find
do
a way.
you wanted to do the Mardi Gras thing and lean into it, and I'm like,
Yeah.
well, only if
I'm into
trying
it.
to-
I'm gonna be googling that later. Sorry.
You know what though? I think that this series should happen in the 80s, because here at the Salty and Savage Show, we're always trying to make America 80s again, and I would love to see the X-Men in the 80s in a movie. And speaking of, on sale right now in the t-shirt store is our t-shirt.
Just a few hours longer. It's on
like
sale.
4 more hours. 4 hours
16
left, guys, or 3.5
16
hours. $16. Make America 80s again t-shirt. Yeah, that's right. The second hour is the shill hour, where we sell you stuff that you will like. I had brunch with my family yesterday, and my dad was wearing the Salty and Savage shirt. It's a very soft, fine cotton. You will like it. Shirt. Check out the store. There's the Salty and Savage shirt. There's the Make America 80s Again shirt, and there's the Fight, Fight, Fight shirt that you will like.
Oh, there's
there's
also the one of my personal favorites is coming from where we spent so much time, the stop making stupid people famous.
Stop making stupid. Everyone should get that shirt and just wear it as a freaking statement, because good Lord, can we stop making stupid people famous? Like Candace Owens. Ugh.
Oh my God, there's so many people that are on this list of just, you shouldn't have been famous in the first place. I don't know why you're here today, but apparently, because of my career for so long, apparently I'm going to do a story about you today because some bullshit happened in your life. So, all right.
I'm stealing this, by the way. This is a copyrighted show where when you do a chat, I get to steal the idea and use that as a t-shirt. Good. And I love this. Maida. Maida.
You know that
I love it.
That weird old school like G that kind of looks like an 8. You could probably do. Maida. Look at this, Late Night with Cap.
Is Late Night with Cap? Should we have Cap on the show, Jason?
You should have.
Cap on the show? Okay, yeah. We'll have Cap on the show.
And you'll like him because sometimes he will find the worst examples of graphic design and just it's funny. Yeah, you should have Cap on. You should go on Cap's show. He's a good hang.
Hey, Late Night. I know a design guy too.
I know a design guy.
25 years in entertainment advertising.
Hey, you know what? I know a design guy. He did this awesome logo for my Beard Balm and axes that I sell.
Nice.
Yeah, that's right, baby.
That's
Beard
right,
Balm
baby.
and axes. Man shit. Not comic books. Man shit.
Man shit. Wait, comic books are cool. We'd like comic books.
The Beard Balm is delicious. The axes do work. I've been using it in my forest. I literally live in a forest, guys. And the axe that he sent me is fantastic.
The The Beard Balm is good. I'm selling it more like by hand, so my Etsy supply is dwindling because I'm having to go back and like eliminate it off of the site because I'm selling it by hand. The local guy, there's this great guy who they sell sourdough bread here. It's San Francisco sourdough bread. Oh my god, it's so good. But anyway, this guy's got this great luscious beard, so I started working out this trade with him for bread for Beard Balm. Bread for Beard Balm. And I'm not going to lie, it's working out pretty great for both of us because his beard looks amazing and my stomach is filled with delicious sourdough bread.
I got a trailer for us to watch. Bring
it on.
I do. I don't know. I think we should watch it together and see how we feel about it. However, I do. No, you know what? Let's watch the trailer. You know what, guys? Let's watch the trailer. We were talking about Lord of the Rings earlier, and we were talking about Rings of Power. Please make sure to participate in the poll that we have going on, whether or not you guys want us to talk about Rings of Power, because we will watch that shit, and we will do a show about it and be brutally honest and hilarious.
Or not
if you don't want us to. But there's also... Jason, there's also an animated Lord of the Rings story coming out.
Oh, the Rohirrim. Yes.
Oh, the Riders of Rohirrim or whatever.
Rohirrim.
The Rohirrim.
Rohirrim.
I see what you did there. Sorry, I'm slow and I'm kind of retarded. So you know, I'm a little slow. I see what you did there. The what up, Roman Nation? Up in the his, you guys should check out his show. Yeah, dude. We will be promoting his show next week because both of us or one of us will be a guest on the show depending on our schedules. But we will we will hang out. We will hang out and do our thing. But yeah, so there's let's just, you know what? I'll stop talking. And let's just watch it, okay?
Peter Jackson.
Is it going to play?
Oh my
or is
God,
my internet going to be down?
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
We're waiting.
Come on.
Buffer.
Good Lord.
Buffer. I hardly knew her.
All right. I'm sending you this link, dude.
Is this what they call boomerang?
Send me
totally. No, it's, I don't know. I don't know what's going on, man.
Warner Brothers Pictures, Peter Jackson. Yes, send me the link.
Dumb, bro. It's being dumb. It's being really dumb.
Remove Don't worry, guys. We're super organized. This is like really we're professionals.
Well, normally we actually do a tighter thing, but I've been so busy working.
I've got Ted here. We're professionals, okay?
We're professionals. We do it professional here, guys. We do it professional, and it's super professional. So I don't know how I feel about this. Well, I do know how I feel about this, Jason. I have a lot of opinions, and I want to talk about it, but I want to watch the trailer with the gang of folks. So in the meantime, and to see if Savage can find that trailer, I will say, guys that are in the chat that are new to the show, I have the rest of you guys you already know, but if you haven't yet, issue 2 of my comic book Silence Do Good is out. Issue 1 is available at the same link. That link will be in the chat. I did a comic book about a teenage Ben Franklin who finds himself trapped in the future. Yes, trapped in the future inside a VR program that is run by an artificial intelligence that thinks it's God. And it is a story that dives into the concept of liberty and free will and all of that. And Ben Franklin is a young teenage, energetic, athletic, kind of a hero. And he decides that he's going to fight back against the a-hole tech companies that are taking over the lives of Americans in the future. And it's a really fun story, a lot of action, explosions, lasers, robots. Please consider checking it out. Check out that link. The trailer's there. We're not going to bore you guys with the trailer, but the trailer's really exciting. Jason, I would think that my trailer's exciting. I like it as much as your trailer.
And your comic has something that a lot of comic books fail at, and that is a great cliffhanger. Great cliffhangers leaves you wanting more. You can't wait to get the next issue. I just ordered issue 2. Can't wait to get my hands on that, and I'm stoked that you're working on issue 3. And again, if this country needed Ben Franklin ever, it's now. So we need.
And that's the one thing that we do is we explore the concept of what basically the idea is twofold. It's like, what would Ben Franklin say if he saw our world in its present state, or what would he think about our world in maybe the next 10 years? Because it kind of like goes a little dystopian future where we could head if we aren't smart. And then it also explores the concept of free will, which I think is super imperative and kind of a foundation of our great republic, is that love of the free will. Roma wants you to make sure to keep the pinky out when drinking the drink.
I was giving him plenty of pinky. I was working on it, and it looks. I'm not going to lie. He's so right. It looks great. I mean, it looks fantastic.
So I will say, buy my friggin' book. There's 2 of them, guys. There's 2 of them. Art by Amoeba Artstorm, who's in the chat. It's fun times, guys. It's fun times. Yeah. It's a good book.
Buy our shirt. Buy our Beard Balm. Buy our comic books. We're just like
buy Jason's comic book.
Buy Jason's comic book, Jupiter. Oh my gosh, it's so cool, Captain.
I get to treat it like this because I got one in the bag and I got one in the bag and a board. That's mine, and then I hand out the rest, and then I have the second one that I read.
That's the copy you read while you're eating chips.
Yeah, because it's like, I'm gonna eat nachos and just rub it
popcorn
here
and you're
like,
on the jeans.
All right, do we got that trailer? Did that link work for you, Savage?
Dude, it totally worked. We're bringing it right up.
I'm excited to see
guys,
what this is.
A very professional show. This is a very professional show.
All right,
we drink our drinks with our pinkies out.
That's goddamn right.
And this part, like, we could skip this part because it's like, oh, guys, we just want you to know that, like, this is going to be this is their attempt to be like, this isn't Rings of Power. It's going to be inspired by Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings that you all liked. You guys all like that one, right? You like that one.
This is probably one of the only things that's going to get me to watch this. So, yeah.
Yeah. The Rohirrim. Oh, that music, man.
Okay,
that
so the music with the passage of great like cinematography and the maps all at the same time in that boom, 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 like overlaid.
Did it say music by Journey?
Did it?
Or a groundbreaking
Journey. I would be so down if it was music by Journey. Are you kidding me?
Oh, what? Token our love. Sorry.
Steve Perry goes from RoboCop to the Rohirrim. What?
Robohirrim.
What?
Steve, Mary, and Pippin. There's a joke. There's
Perry
a joke.
And Pippin.
Steve Pippin.
Perry.
Yeah.
There's a joke in there somewhere. I don't know if I gave birth to it or not, but
in there. The chat's gonna have it. They have time to think about it.
Chat.
Where's Uncapped Turtle when you need him? Probably asleep at his desk.
Where is Uncapped? He's probably busy making something awesome. Whatever.
Probably.
Wait, these are clips from what?
I know. This is the marketing part, right? Pause it real quick.
Okay, so
I've been in this meeting as a creative director in entertainment advertising. This is what happened. There was somebody that was like, nobody's gonna want to watch this anime in America or England. So we got to like tie it somehow to Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings so that people will want to watch this Rohirrim shit, right? That's what this is. That's the setup. That's the setup.
Dude, I get a little Rohirrim. Oh man, I get a Rohirrim job.
I'm stealing that, Jason. Rohirrim.
Here we go.
Sure. I signed the waiver.
Okay.
Through the eyes.
Dude,
this is a great shot, though. Look at that shot. Oh, that's a good shot.
It cuts to incredible violin that is just in that same vein.
Yeah. It's the music of the Rohirrim.
Irish, faintly Celtic.
Yeah.
Dude, let's do it.
That music was only played when you saw scenes in the Rohirrim. Like they were. Could
be Zack Snyder. It could be a Zack Snyder violin.
And we have a Japanese legendary director, Kenji Kamiyama.
I love this shot though. It's such a gorgeous shot.
Oh my gosh, it looks so good.
It
Helm's
looks
Deep.
good, dude.
Helm's Deep.
Yeah, we all know that. If you know LOTR, you know this shot.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab. You guys keep watching. Just make sure to pause.
Just make sure to pause. Okay, we're gonna keep watching. Hold on, let me go back.
Some
Here we
dwarf
go.
pitching coming.
Of the ring. But 200
He's got a dwarf pinching out there. Oh, look at this! This is so great.
years before that.
When they have those giant.
Oh, so this is the origin story.
Yeah.
Let's go. Okay.
Riders of the Mark, brothers of Rohan,
There was an older tale.
arise!
Those hundreds of years before, probably. Ooh, he's got a hammer. I love it. It's not an axe. It's a fucking hammer, bro. I'm just gonna blunt object you to death.
This guy's got a quill with 3 arrows in it.
A quote 3.
There's a guy, Archer had a 3. That guy's got 3 arrows.
He's got 4 max.
He's got
4
4
max. He's like I'm only using
That's all
these.
I need.
He's
That's
like
all I
he's like a secret service. He's like there's only 3 in the chamber. There's only 3 in the thing. That's all I need. It's like, is it? Is it though? Whoa. That, I mean, I like this mixed animation of like what do you call this? Is like over the top realism. Yeah, with the with like a more realistic, hand-drawn, awesome feel.
Kids love the anime.
In the middle of it. Oh,
got some anime going.
Look at this guy. He's got the crazy sideburns like my buddy Nick 66 had. Look at him. He's got the sideburns.
Offer to strengthen Rohan.
Hera, daughter of Helm, I, Wolf, seek your hand in marriage.
Our fathers speak as if I were not even in the room. I do not want to marry you.
Oh my gosh.
There's always
Are we giving her own choice? I mean, heaven forbid.
Well, that's not the problem.
Hold on. Moving on.
You do not seek an alliance. You seek a throne.
That's, you know who that voice is, right? That's what's his name from oh my gosh. He's been the voice of McDonald's recently, and he's in the Succession. Who's the lead guy in Succession? Brian something.
Yeah,
that's okay. That's a big voice. That's a big voice in there.
You seek a throne. Oh, you will live to regret this, old man.
That was sick.
Yeah, the animation looks great. I mean, it really looks great.
And it harkens back to that old school kind of animation that we remember from the 80s or the 70s and 80s.
Like late 8. No, it's like late. It's like kind of like after Robotech. It's a little bit of Vampire Hunter D, the second one. You know, it's a Ninja Scroll. It's got a Ninja Scroll vibe to it.
A touch of that Hobbit vibe though at the same time, but it's
yeah,
but because it has other like super futuristic like AI painted stuff or something in the background. I'm like, I don't know.
More like Vinland Saga. Don't disagree.
You will pay for this with your life.
The boy I knew would never wish for war.
The boy you knew is gone.
The boy I knew.
Yes, the second Bloodlust, the Vampire Hunter, not the first one, the second one, which is a much better story, and the animation is so awesome, dude. Oh my gosh.
It looks like this is, I don't know. I mean, it looks like it could be pretty good. I mean, if Peter Jackson is involved, you'd like to think that he's gonna say like, no, this doesn't.
Yeah, you would think it's gonna be pretty good. Yeah, let's just keep watching. You think that.
Many of them. I pledged to fight for my king.
You know nothing of war.
I'm the fastest rider you have.
She's the fastest rider you have, and this guy's got an awesome axe. Yeah.
This guy's got an awesome axe. Wait, I'm missing. Where?
What are you missing?
No, keep going.
Don't worry. She looks great. Whoa.
People need hope, Hera. Something to believe in.
The Eagles.
My pride, my joy. You could rule the world.
She could rule the world?
You think I am afraid of you?
You should be.
Oh, look, it's me and my horse and a giant fucking elephant with like machine gun tusks.
Rohirrim.
Here's the thing. Okay, so some guy's collecting rings. Interesting, because he's looking for particular rings, obviously.
Yeah.
But is it weird that you have like hand-drawn animation and then you have this very like super over-the-top, hyper-realistic
Theatrical. It's very theatrical.
It's so I feel like that throws you off, and that just isn't like, it really shouldn't be mixed quite like what.
Oh no, it's art style wise, there's too much.
Like
there's a little bit inconsistency. Pick one.
Yeah.
Pick a style. Go with the style. Yeah, totally. Yeah. I don't disagree. My problem with this one is, okay, so
he brought out the book.
The shaping of Middle Earth, right? So there's the shaping of Middle Earth, which is, if you're really a geek like I am, you're going to read that book. Geek. And then you're going to read The Unfinished Tales by J.R. Tolkien. You're going to read this one. You're going to be like, oh, yeah, cool. All right. And then you're going to be like, oh, let me check out The Children of Huron, that is edited by Christopher Walken. Another unfinished work. And you're like, oh, that's about dwarves.
I would love that if Christopher
Tolkien. Oh, did I say Christopher Walken? I meant Christopher Tolkien. His son, Christopher Tolkien. Sorry.
Can you imagine? He's like,
Bilbo.
His ring. It was your uncle's ring, and take the ring and take it to the Mordor. Drop it in the fire.
It's only one of nine rings.
It's just in my ass for an entire age.
No, it's the what is. It was one ring, and it's 9 for the men and 3 for the elves. 7 for the dwarves. We don't know what the fuck happened to the dwarves. They just kind of went into the mountains. But the men, they became boogeymen, so you run from... anyway, so and then you got this. You got The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, Lord of the Rings, and you got that there. So you read that, and then you read the appendix, which is at the end of Return of the King. And then you're like, oh, let's look at some Art of Realms of Tolkien, and then maybe let's check out the...
Boys, have you seen
the bestiary of Tolkien? You just
bestiary.
Read the bestiary, and then you're like, where the fuck is this bitch Hera? What? Where does she come from? I got the Silmarillion, but I think my dad has the Silmarillion right now. So you read all this Tolkien stuff because you love freaking Tolkien, because it's way better than Star Wars, because it's way better than anything Star Wars ever did. And you're like, who's this chick Hera? Who the fuck is this chick?
Okay, have you checked the last 150 pages of Return of the King where it goes through the annals? Have you looked for her in there?
Yes! Dude, she's mentioned one time. Okay, so we're doing an entire movie about some boss babe that is like, you could rule the world. You could rule, not Middle Earth, because it's never the world in Middle Earth. It's like, we don't have boats that can go to the Undying Lands. It's Middle Earth. It is this area where you got the little short people with weird hairy feet, and you got the other short people living in mountains. You got some humans and some pointy ear weirdos, and then some dudes in the south that ride on big ass elephants that, what's his name, called elephants, because what are you talking about? Dude. Oh, what's his name? Oliphant? Is that what you...
Timothy Oliphant?
Timothy Oliphant. Sorry.
Oliphant?
I'm a big Tolkien nerd, guys, if you can't tell. And I'm like, she's mentioned one time. And it's like Biden. I don't even think they use her name. They gave her a name or something. And she's the daughter of a king. And it's anyway.
Does it fill either of you with existential dread that 200 years later, or 200 years earlier, it's the same problems happening in the Rohirrim. You got the chick who wants to be a warrior. You got the king who's torn. You've got the brash. I mean, and I'm like, it's like same, same day, different, that phrase, but it's, I'm just like, but cool. The one thing that was cool is they had the tentacled thing in the lake outside of Moria or whatever. Like we didn't see a lot of that in the movie.
Yeah.
Maybe there'll be a fresh take on that, but it's like everything in there, whether it be the mood lighting, the shots, the doors of the Great Hall crashing open. We've seen all this before. We've seen it before.
Do this as an anime. Do this as an anime. This is freaking rich right here.
Yeah.
Children of Hurin. Like, it's not that good because it got, it's like Unfinished Tales. It got edited and,
you could do the JR
or Tolkien.
The Tolkien short story, Farmer Giles of Ham.
Yeah.
You could do that. And it would be better than the Rings of Power that they're doing. Farmer Giles of Ham is like a children's story about like a guy who has to battle a dragon and for a local, town. And it's as simple as any Western story that we've ever made. That the same arc that we've been talking about for Star Wars lore and all that stuff. It's super simple and it's a lovely short story. And it would be far better than whatever it is that they're trying to do with the Rings of Power. And I can only hope that this Peter Jackson influence and some people who really love animation and who love the LOTR world will just make this the Rohirrim one something worth watching.
The thing is like I already know what they're doing because they're taking a female character that's barely mentioned in any of the works and they're saying, oh, there's a really interesting, because there is a lot of rich story around the Rohirrim that Tolkien wrote, so you could do that, but they're like, we gotta have we gotta put this new character in. And I would honestly, like, people are like, oh, you're just upset because it's a girl. No, I'm upset because I would not be happy if it was a dude character. Like, no, it's like either tell your own story, make up a new lore, make up a new mythology and tell your own like story, like, which is fine, like could be cool, and like a princess character, I love Princess Mononoke. That's such a great anime. Like, okay, so cool. It doesn't matter if you injected another character that has nothing to do with Tolkien and is just like made up out of your ass, and then you do this story that doesn't quite fit into Tolkien. I'm not going to be happy about it. I don't care. That's the problem. And it's not like if you did do a new story. Here's the thing. I hope it stays true to Tolkien. I doubt it will, and I'm going to see it just to be able to judge whether it does or not.
Well, we're definitely going to watch it. 100%. Jason, what do you got to say?
Give us, they need to give us something that we haven't seen before, but that we know is true. Like have one of those, for 100 years, couple hundred years, Aragorn and the Rangers are out there protecting.
Yes.
The
Dunedain Rangers, who live for hundreds of years, by the way, they live for a very long period of time.
You could
hundreds and hundreds of years.
You could do stories where they're out there on the frontier and just they're not like Conan or something like that, but basically a ranger or Aragorn is going from town to town saying like, is there anything I can do without tipping my hand to help these people? What do you hear? What's the scuttlebutt?
Like a Mountie.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a Mountie. Exactly. Like and Lynchmob says a similar, I can never see.
Silmarillion.
Silmarillion. It's the hardest word to say. I never can say it. Was hard, but was so keyed in by then that I loved it. The thing about that book is that it reads like a history book where it's kind of like it's Tolkien just like documenting the movement, the history of the elves.
It feels like it's just talking at you and you're not part of a story.
It's a history book. So you're reading a history book. It's not necessarily it's not a great read, but if you love the world, and this is such a perfect point, it's like if you love the world, if you love The Hobbit, if you love Lord of the Rings, you read it because you're trying to understand this world more deeply, like you would read American history, which is such a great segue into buy my comic book after you buy Jupiter, you buy my comic book because it is a celebration of American history and America's most prolific founding father, and you will enjoy it.
Here's how you do the Silmarillion. You have a show about Aragorn, and in every episode of the Aragorn show, as he's sitting around the campfire, he's telling his squire or somebody about another chapter in the Silmarillion. So it's like a voiceover, and then in the fire at the camp, then you see the images of the elves making the jewels, and that's how you tell the Silmarillion. You tell it in installments, in like an oral tradition. And everybody go back Jupiter. $13 plus $5.
I love it.
That's how you do it. You tell it like this. And by the way, don't forget to buy my
the
book.
Baron likes you more than me. They linked to your book before they linked to Silence Do Good, but that's okay because you are our guest. And of course, the Baron is the smartest. They probably could pronounce Silmarillion better than I can because I can never pronounce that word. The Elvish words always escape me, though. Anyway,
that sounds about right.
I love Tolkien, and I don't like Hollywood. Okay.
I don't like Hollywood. It paid us so well for some time, but
it paid us so well. But then those taxes that the Democrats took from us made me feel very poor in California.
And every time they put it on the ballot, and they're like, "Look, it's just like a fraction of a cent, and this is gonna like get people off the streets." And you're like, "Yeah, totally. This is what I want." And they're like,
"Yeah, more people on the street."
Here? Yes. Well, maybe you know what a zombie is. When a person dies and is buried, it seems there's certain voodoo priests who have the power to bring him back to life.
Horrible.
It's worse than horrible because a zombie has no will of his own. You see them sometimes walking around blindly with dead eyes, following orders, not knowing what they do, not caring. You mean like Democrats?
Just saying, guys.
Bob never gets old.
Are you
American treasure?
You're saying if you subsidize a problem, you get more of it?
What?
What?
I mean,
it's like when you reward bad behavior. What happens? You get more bad behavior.
Don't subsidize it. Just throw money at it.
Okay, all right. That way you can skim off the top.
Yeah. No. Subsidy.
Got it.
No. Throw money at the problem.
Hey, and we welcome you, King Yeti, and we welcome Dr. Till on the show at any time because we love Dr. Till at the Salty and Savage Show. Good friend of the show. Everyone should check out his show, by the way.
Dude, King
including you, Jason Sandberg.
King Yeti's got a dope logo. I like his little. He actually's got a
I dig it.
A King Yeti logo. All right,
I dig
that.
it. Do not feed the chat.
Do not. Oh, sorry, my bad. Simply, I just. You know what? And you know what? By the way, simply, maybe you should go on a diet. Maybe you shouldn't be.
Maybe you should go on a diet.
Maybe we're feeding you too much. Maybe we're feeding you too much in the chat. Hey, what do you think about that? What do you think about that, huh? Hold on. Hold on. I gotta get my pinky up. Hold on. Pardon me. Quick, hold on.
Oh yes, let's do that.
Okay. Hey, you know what? Hold on. Let's get the. There we go. Pinkies up. Pinkies up. All right.
Yes. Very good. Very excellent.
You know what it's time for.
What's it time for? Oh, do it, Savage. Give us that sweet bumper.
Overproduced and underfunded. Ladies and gentlemen, the Salty and Savage Show. We look so good from
Speaking of underfunded, if you are watching on Twitter, please come over and hang out on YouTube because so many people watch on Twitter, but we do welcome you on the Twitters or the X or whatever it's called now, the Twixers. Right. I don't know. Come over to the YouTube, hang out in the chat, and also if you're watching, please think about liking and subscribing and sharing, buying Jupiter, and hanging out with us and doing our thing. And then while you're at it, you go, and we'll keep plugging all our other friends,
all of our other stuff. So the record of the week. So once again, I now me and my lady now run a record store, which is it's a plants and record store. Salty loves this because we sell house plants and records. They have a very good vibe. There's something about good music and cool plants that kind of just goes together. So our store it's gorgeous when the sun's coming through the window. It's just one of those things and it hits. And so we decided we're going to do a record of the week every week. And we forgot to do it last week. So we did a little carryover. So this week it is, and there's a slight theme sometimes with what we've done here. There's occasionally I'm like, oh, but I like this, but a lot of the stuff, there's a lot of influence from both of us, Salty and Savage, that comes from across the pond. There's a lot of Brits that somehow have sung their crooked teethed way into our hearts.
Wait, I got it. Before you show it,
not gonna do
I
it.
got it, guys. All right, are you ready? Are you ready for the album of the week? Let's go! And that's all we're gonna play.
And that's all we can play. Otherwise, we'll probably get sued.
We'll get warned because we're not.
David Bowie, Let's Dance. Look at this album. Look how great condition this album is in. This is so old. This is an original pressing of this album. That's the one of the awesome, not that's the one of the amazing things about having the record store is that when you get like a gem in, you're just like, oh, this is so great. It looks so, I mean, it feels brand new. Like it doesn't even feel dirty or old or what. Like this has been hidden in someone's collection for a long time.
That was not a DJ's record. That was a collector's record. It
was like some old lady's record or something. It's fantastic. It makes it even better.
She only played it on Sundays.
She only played it on Sundays. That album is so good. It's got Let's Dance, China Girl, which are probably my two favorites.
So fantastic. When you go back, like, just you shut your mouth. Like, just when you go back and listen to some of these songs, I was not a huge David Bowie fan when I was younger. There were so many bands, and especially British bands that I was such a huge fan of. But David Bowie, I was like, okay, I'm not super into like the artsy stuff. His last album, right before he died, Black Star, came out. I listened to it. I spent one weekend just crushing it into my brain for some reason, and went to the bar and was like, oh my God, everybody, you have to listen to this album. This album's absolutely amazing. And I talked it up for like 3 days. And the very next week he died. And then everyone at the bar was like, dude, don't talk about anymore. Don't talk about albums anymore. Don't come in and brag about, because I talked about it was like 3 days straight. I went to the bar and was like, dude, you've got to hear this album. It is blowing my mind right now. But this guy, David Bowie, he was so young. He was so like such an artistic, like crazy genius. This guy, like, I feel like he shouldn't have just been making music. There's so many other things he should have been doing at the same time. He was trying to do some of them.
Well, he was acting. He was acting The Man Who Fell from Earth. He was doing that in the 80s. He did.
I feel like there were a million things that this guy could have been doing that he never had.
He played Nikola Tesla in The Prestige. Come on, man. That was such a good role.
Fantastic. Such a good film. So yeah,
that is a great movie.
This album is absolutely fantastic. If you haven't had a chance,
starring Batman and Wolverine.
What? Oh yeah, that's right. If you haven't had a chance to listen to a little bit of David Bowie,
so
this is my favorite song.
Yeah, that is a good album, but this is my favorite album. Number one, because Make America 80s Again, because everything in the 80s was better, including David Bowie. David Bowie peaked in the 80s. This album is amazing. Modern Love, China Girl, Let's Dance. Without You actually is the sleeper song on this this album. Yeah, that is probably my favorite like undercover Bowie song.
End of Side A is super.
End of Side A. I mean, Ricochet's a good one. Criminal, like everything's a banger on this thing. It's like this could have been Side A of the greatest hits of David Bowie. And dude, I love it. You guys should check it out on iTunes if you have an iTunes account. Like, it's my favorite album.
It's like Duran Rio. It's like you're like, what is it? Is this a best of? You're like, no. This is
better.
Just the album.
Better.
This is just the album.
It's better. Yeah, it's better. It's so good. It's top 10. It's definitely top 10 80s albums Top 10 80s albums.
80s albums. There's so many.
Top 10.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Jason?
no, I don't care. I don't care, dude. Top
Jason?
10 80s albums all time. David Bowie's
in
Let's
the
Dance.
80s. Jason, in the 80s, what's your jam? Who are you all about?
So
let's hear it.
Oh, you were asking Jason. Let's guest talk, Sean. Let's guest talk, Salty.
So you're talking 80s. You gotta have this. This has got to be in contention. You got to have Brothers in Arms by Dire Straits.
Okay.
You've got to have Husker Du, Warehouse Songs and Stories.
Ooh, Husker Du. Very interesting. I have one of those. I have a Husker Du album tucked away in the store.
Yep. And then there's at least 5 Prince albums, Around the World, Around the World in a Days, Parade, Purple Rain, one of those, and to take your pick, but there's got to be a Prince
Salty
album
loves
in
that.
there.
Salty loves that. I appreciate it as well.
I love me some Prince.
Okay. Billy Joel, Innocent Man. That's got to be on there.
Album.
That's got to be on there for 80s. And then I begin
NWA Vashnik. Wait, hold on. Vashnik GMF Stream says NWA, and I would say, hell yeah, brother.
And then the Cult Love album, that's got to be on your. That's got to be on the 80s. Your 80s, either that or Sonic Temple. You've got to have a Cult album on there too.
So Sonic Temple, dude. Yeah, that's a good one too. I love the Cult. Who dances better with a microphone stand? What's his name? I can't. Why am I blanking on his name?
Ian
Singer of the
Astbury?
Cult, or Dave Gahan. Who dances better with the mic stand?
Wait a minute.
With the mic stand.
You're not even going to put the lead singer of Aerosmith in this?
Steven Tyler, no.
You're not even going to put Steven Tyler in with his dancing? Okay.
No.
I feel
you know
like
why? Because everything Aerosmith has ever made or done is disappoint.
Yeah. And also, they also disappointed. like how could you?
Sorry,
the fans are dying right now because they're like, "Oh, our favorite singer just can't sing anymore." It's like, yeah, welcome to Journey's all the Journey fans' lives.
There you go.
It's like you've been waiting for. There's going to be somebody who, in like 2 or 3 years, whatever record company or someone's going to be like, you know what? We will pay you guys a ton of money if you can find somebody else who can sing just like him. And
Aerosmith is so shitty. Aerosmith is so shitty that their best song is Run DMC's song. Okay.
Oof. Okay. No, that's dude. Run DMC didn't even want to do that. Run DMC thought that was a joke.
So Aerosmith is one of those bands where their song one of their classic songs comes up on the radio. You turn it up, and then halfway through the song, you kind of turn it back down. That's an Aerosmith. But you don't. Nobody owns any Aerosmith songs.
No. Anytime an Aerosmith song comes up, you're changing the channel at this point because you just go, I got Sirius XM. F this shit. I don't care.
F this.
Several people in the chat did point out that you have to put Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction as a great 80s album. That is a fantastic debut album. Quite amazing.
I don't disagree.
I worked in
Although I'm hesitant.
I worked in the recording studio where they mastered that album, and it's amazing. Like the tapes were like they had a box with the master reel to reels, the giant reels of the tapes for Appetite for Destruction, like sitting over in a thing, and you're like, dude, what if should I just go like open those? Should I just try play it or something when no one's around? Like I didn't even know. Should I do that?
We might have to. You know,
hold on. We might have to say that David Bowie's "Let's Dance" was our record.
Is the album of the week.
All right, so now we got that done.
Yeah, now that's out of the way. We might actually have to do a top 5 80s albums.
It's tricky.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Run DMC
Yeah,
again.
it's
My bad.
tricky.
Bo-
Dude, I
Bosnick
love Run
again.
DMC, man.
So
Run
good.
DMC, NWA, Fat Boys. You know, you got to have some hip hop up in
Dude,
that.
oh my god!
Come on.
I did just get an original Run DMC album in the other day. I'm gonna have to send you a photo that might be our album of the week soon.
All right. Last story of the night. Should we talk
do we
about
got?
it? What was
What do we got? Let's
what
talk-
was wait. Oh no, the other Keanu Reeves news. The other Keanu Reeves news.
What was the other?
What is
Keanu
that?
Reeves? Hold on.
The Amazon
about-
thing? The Amazon thing?
Oh, hold on. Do. Where did that go? No, that's okay.
Paulus Arts is like, how about this? I only know of Run DMC because of Aerosmith. Well, that's fair, but also Aerosmith is a terrible band, and I don't care. It's super overrated.
Also,
It is what it is. It is.
Dude, also, Paulus, thanks for showing up.
Yeah, dude. Seriously, thanks for being here, man. I appreciate it.
Here is the news. It looks like Keanu Reeves is in Amazon's Armored Core animation. So this is kind of a loaded thing. So you're like, wait, Amazon is doing an Armored Core animation? This is very loaded. So basically, Amazon has an adult animation anthology series from the people behind Netflix.
We should not call it adult animation. We should call it something else, because every time someone says adult animation, I'm all like, hentai? What the hell are you talking about?
Maybe like prime time.
It's a good
prime
point.
time animation.
It's a good point. I'm very loaded. I'm very loaded. It's an excellent point.
Oh man,
I do have a very distinct memory of watching Robotech in the 80s, and my brother and I, we looked at each other, we said, this isn't like a kid's cartoon. This is like a mature cartoon.
Right?
This is like a real show.
Were you into Tekka Man at all? I haven't met a lot of people that were into Tekka Man, but I watched a lot of Tekka Man when I was a kid. Like I had all the videos, and for some reason it was like that was the one that I watched. Like
we had Voltron and Robotech, but
Right,
Robotech was the
sure.
one where like this is like we didn't know it was really soap opera, but we were like, man, this is like a serious show. This is like real.
Robotech.
All right,
Macross.
Yeah, Macross. Yeah.
So we're gonna go back.
That was my favorite role playing game, dice and tabletop role playing game for the longest time in the 90s. Oh, I loved that game, Robotech. Anyway,
So
yes, keep going.
The people behind Netflix's Love, Death, and Robots stole the show with their eye-catching trailer packed with video game adaptations. So basically,
Nice pinky play, by the way.
Amazon is, you're welcome. Amazon is doing a series where they're going to, and this is kind of a teaser as to Keanu's character in the particular Armored Core animation, but they're doing a secret level series, which is basically 15 episodes. So a series of 15 episodes of shows that are each based on various video games, which include PlayStation Studios video games, which could mean like anything.
Could mean
from
a
PlayStation
lot.
Studios.
Yeah, I mean, that
Sifu,
could be anything.
I'm not familiar with.
I've never
Sifu.
heard of Sifu as a Warhammer. I'm stoked
Warhammer?
on this. That's going to be
Unreal Tournament.
Unreal Tournament. That's going to be awesome. New World. I'm not as excited about that because that's like a newer game. Like, who cares? It didn't do that well. Dungeons and Dragons. Oh,
It could be, depending on what they do, Outer Worlds, Pac-Man.
Pac-Man's a very compelling character. I think Pac-Man's the more compelling character than the Acolyte.
Do they take
I'm going to be.
It's a more.
I'm going to be controversial here, guys. I'm going to be controversial
Acolyte.
here. Miss Pac-Man is much more exciting than Pac-Man because that was a better video game. Okay, so we're not sexist on the Salty and Savage show. Mrs. Pac-Man.
So
Mrs.
we
Pac-Man?
have honor.
I want the one. That's the second version of Pac-Man. It's a better game.
It is a better game. Mega Man, which is very cool for the old NES fans.
Yeah, but Armored. Let's go back. Armored Core, dude.
Yeah.
That game is so dope. If anyone remembers Armored Core, like I think originally for me, my first experience with Armored Core was on the PlayStation, and I loved that game, dude. Did you ever play that game, Jason?
I do not recall.
Oh man, that game was dope.
Let's see if we can we play this trailer?
Is this a trailer of it, or this is the official trailer?
This is a trailer for. Dude, that looks sick.
Real quick, Simply Green's got a fantastic. So I would disagree with you partially.
Is greater than Armored
Front
Core.
Mission is not as good as Armored Core. Armored Core is better than Front Mission, but Front Mission 3 is peak Front Mission and is the best mechanized RPG action-packed video game ever. Front Mission 3. Better than any Armored Core. Hands down.
Okay, here we go. This looks dope. Dude.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this.
Oh.
That looks like Outer Worlds.
For your arrival.
Love, Death, and Robot from the
Dude, look at this. Whoa.
Dude. Oh, Roman Nation. Oh, Roman Nation.
What?
I rented. He said I rented Armored Core for Blockbuster. Now you know, like, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Okay, so real quick. Back in the day, like, we had this friend that was really good with computers and, like, you know, soldering chips to stuff. So we bought this, like, on the web, on the intranets. We bought a chip to solder onto our PlayStation, our first PlayStation, you know, PlayStation 1, the first PlayStation, to solder in so we could play Japanese video games. So what ended up happening was we could also play bootleg PlayStation games. So what we would do is we would go to Blockbuster, rent the game. I would copy the game on, because at the company that I worked at, Disney, we had a machine that you stuck a CD in, and then you could copy that machine on a bunch of different DVDs. So I would put this DVD,
the copy deck.
Anyway, no, I didn't do any of that. That's you could have. You could have.
You were testing it.
You could have
testing
done
equipment
it.
to make sure it was good.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Celebrating.
Look at this. This looks great.
It is you. You will open the door. Because you are the chosen.
Whoa. That looked like...
this looks so cool, man.
That looked like Keanu dropping in. That is him.
That did look like Keanu dropping in.
All those moments.
Dude, what? Hell yeah. Okay.
It's a new adventure.
Mega Man. That was Mega Man right there. Oh, God of War. What? That's the PlayStation game. It's God of War. Did you see that? That was Kratos, dude. Go back real quick. That was Kratos. That was Kratos.
I saw there was a bunch of incredible quick shots. Like, this looks amazing.
Yeah, that looks dope.
That's
Mega Man. That's obviously Mega Man.
Oh, that's so dope.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Oh,
that's the Sony PlayStation game.
Does he have an axe? Of course he's got a fucking axe.
Just
dude.
You.
That's totally Keanu. That's totally Keanu. So he's totally doing the voice acting. He's gotta be. Oh, that's Mega Man right there.
Is
Warhammer! Look at the Warhammer right there. Yep, that's Warhammer. Space Marine. Dude, this, I am positive. Yeah. Simply Green's like,
dude,
cautiously optimistic.
Insane.
Yeah, it's fair.
Come in. You have a game to play.
Oh, Oh, you have a game
Dude,
to
it looks.
play.
I'm so pumped for this, guys. I am
That looks
so pumped for this, man.
That looks
I'm a
good.
giant gamer, Jason. Like, I'm a huge gamer. I freaking nerd out on video games, and I am so pumped for this, man. Oh,
Do they drop it? Do they drop it all at once?
I think. Well, I don't know, man. I mean,
Do they go episode by episode?
Amazon has been known because like
anthology.
Reacher and like The Boys, they like put
They're
one
gonna
out a
stretch. They're
week,
gonna stretch
so-
it out. They're gonna stretch it
Yeah.
out. Jason, what are your thoughts?
It looked. I think it's promising because I can tell you guys know the games. You're enthusiastic, but also the simple fact that because it's an anthology, they don't have to pad it out. They don't have to stretch it out. They can do one and done standalone stories. If they resonate, they can revisit them. So I'm optimistic.
Yeah, I am too. As long as the stories aren't lame and badly written, I'll be super stoked. And again, it's one of those things where it's like, it seems like so far just from the trailer, and it's just snippets, right? It's just sneak peek. But it seems like
it was also cut very well, and you're like,
yeah, it was a very well done.
when-
That trailer
when
was
they're-
done very well.
When the trailer's cut so well, you're like, I don't know, maybe I do actually have high hopes for this.
Yeah, but what I'm thinking is, or what I'm hoping is that this was made, and the writers that they hired played the games and loved the games, because that's what's going to make them good. Is if they stay
Understanding the
true
lore.
to the spirit. You know, it's never, you never want to necessarily, you always want to let people be creative, but at the same time, it's like, is it going to be written by somebody that wants to tell their own story and just use the IP as their own like propaganda to tell their own crappy story? Or is it going to be somebody that's like, I
Rings of
love this
power.
world so much, I just want to tell a new story of this world, you know, like tell the story of Mega Man. And I'm hoping it's the latter. I'm hoping it's like a bunch of people that just like, I loved Mega Man, so I'm going to tell that story. I loved God of War, so we're going to tell the story of
Dude,
Kratos.
I love Base Wars. I want to tell that story.
You do.
You
do.
Jason, you weren't here last week, but we had was it last
It wasn't
week?
last week. It was 2 weeks ago.
So we had a top 5 of video games that should be turned into movies, and
Okay.
I had a special. It was a special nod. It wasn't in the top 5, but a special nod for the NES game Base Wars, and I'm not sure if you're familiar, but it's like robots instead of baseball players. But nonetheless, I feel like it would be super cool in one of these kind of styles of animation would be super great, where these robots are basically playing the sport, and every time they get to the base, they have to fight each other to decide whether you're safe or out.
Yeah.
And then anyway, nonetheless,
As long as Disney's not doing it,
as long as
there's hope.
Disney's not involved.
As long, well, because every time when you work at Disney, like honestly, I worked at Disney for 5 years. 5 years. It was my third job out of high school, and every day.
I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
It's so many jobs out of high school. Like, that's crazy. That's your third job.
My third job out of high school was working at Disney. Well, it was host at a restaurant called Wild Time.
Had I lived in the Valley, my third job probably would have been working in the pornography industry.
In Chatsworth, California.
Like, I'm like, no, I'm fine. I can do this. It's fine. This is fine.
Oh man. Well, we're coming up. We're a half hour past what we've been normally doing lately, guys. I don't know. Should we keep going or should we call the show?
I think I'm beginning to wind
It's
down.
late for you.
That's
right.
all
You're
right.
East Coast
It is.
time, right?
Central.
You're Central. Okay, so
Yeah.
you're like the rest of us. We're
It was
all
a long
Central.
day at work.
Yeah, and we're
still
coming up on midnight.
We're still struggling. I'm like, oh my gosh, I could use a slice of pizza or something right now and a nap. A nap? You mean go to sleep? Nope, just a nap. Then I'm gonna get up and do it.
All right, we're ending the poll. Let's see the result of the poll, and then we're gonna say goodnight to everybody. Let's get the result of the poll as we hang on.
Doing the poll.
Rings of Power.
Jason,
Rings of
we're
Power
really
poll.
stoked that you came here. Please, guys, check out Jupiter again. The link will come up in the chat if you've missed it. It'll be there.
Be here.
Yeah, and then if you do, you guys really do need to get that book. Seriously, it's a great book. It's a good read. Jason's a smart guy, and
And things are getting weird out there.
It
Things
is a
that we're-
weird.
You need the license to
Yeah.
meme too.
Yeah, you do need the license to meme. All right, so we have dude. This is kind of the closest poll that we've ever had, guys.
Really?
Actually, Baron, can you post the results? The results are 55% say no.
Oh wow.
Oh,
to
they
Rings
don't.
of Power.
They're just like, nope,
44% said yes.
we're not interested.
Wow.
Wow.
So it was 7 people,
You know,
and 6 people.
I like that though. I like that. You know why? They want us to stay positive and not be like the rest of YouTube and be a bunch of negative complainers all the time that don't offer anything positive.
Negative.
And we offer things positive. We want you to do content that isn't woke and isn't bullshit.
Yeah.
So
yeah, do stuff that isn't woke and isn't bullshit. And if you're like gonna use an IP that already exists, like at least do it justice. Like what the fuck?
All right,
And-
so that has been our show.
Speaking of do it justice, that has been our absolutely atrocious bout at streaming on the interwebs.
Live streaming this show and hanging out with everyone.
Wait, we were live?
We were live. We were live, and I've confessed
Did
to crimes against nature.
Did you? Wait, we were live?
I thought this was a rehearsal, guys. I made that Timbuktu joke. This isn't good. I
love it.
We need to
Oh,
start
good. Steve
No,
Schott's
dude.
like, my vote doesn't count. I don't know what Rings of Power is. Nobody should. It should have never happened. It should have never happened.
Fair enough. Your wife
right.
probably gave it to you when she asked for your hand in marriage.
Yeah, exactly. Or when you asked your beautiful wife her hand in marriage. All right, guys. You know what? We're gonna leave you with the trailer to my comic book.
That's right.
Please think about buying it after you buy this one. After
you buy that one.
After you buy
Jason,
that one.
thanks so much for coming in and hanging out with us.
Thanks. You
yeah.
guys got to come on my Friday show, the Friday nights. Hit up Mad Ruth, get you on there. But yeah, thank you everybody for hanging out with us. Please go check out Jupiter. $13, 40 pages, full color. I'm working in issue 2. $5 shipping and handling. Order shipped the following day. Had a great time. A lot of good laughs tonight. Thank you.
Great price. Thank you much, dude. We super appreciate you hanging out, having like great opinions. Also, like your comic book knowledge was so great for our top 5.
It's great.
Super appreciative.
Super great.
Like, that was fantastic.
Reach
Beyond
out to me
mine.
if I can ever be of assistance. Reach out to me and I'll help you.
Awesome.
No,
Well, hang out for 2 seconds after the show is over. We'll chat with you. But
Yeah.
everybody else, thank you so much. We're gonna leave you with a little trailer for a super awesome comic book we may have talked about a little bit ago.